I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, the Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphins. Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphins.
You're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' number one morning show.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, and we are live on this beautiful Tuesday right here on Clock Blockers, home of the number one Miami fan morning show, presented by Tail Greeter. What's going on, everybody? Did y'all miss me yesterday on Valentine's Day? I'm sorry. Had some personal stuff going on. Wanted to make sure I got that taken care of. I got it taken care of, and I'm back, and I'm ready to go today for the number one Miami fan morning show right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Super excited to be hanging out with y'all this morning. I want to say morning to my Finlaws, my family. What's up? What's going on? Without let me do a quick rundown of everything because I have my man Daniel waiting in the back. I've already been keeping my man waiting. But you know what? He came from the Super Bowl. So you know what? You can wait a couple more minutes. Hold on, Daniel. All right. Hey, want to remind y'all, if y'all haven't done so already, I am Stephen D, Stephen Daniels. You can follow me on social media at Stephen D, SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. So make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the works. Make sure you guys are doing that. Also, hey, make sure you follow Miami Sports Music. Follow Miami Sports Music on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Miami Sports Music. Hopefully you're already doing that here on and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not, what are you doing? And make sure you follow us on Twitter at MIA Sports Music. Make sure y'all do that too. Let's go. Also, hey, hit the like button. Hit it. Tap it. Give us the thumbs up. I want thumbs up all the way around. Thumbs it up. Bam. I don't know how cool that was or not cool that was, but bam. All right. Make sure you guys give us the thumbs up. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys do that. Hey, also, join now. Sign up. Become a member of the family. Become a member of the family. Let's go. Sign up today. There are plenty of seats waiting at the table for you. I would love to see you sign up and become a member today. Because, yeah, I miss y'all. Make sure, hey, and if you are, if you're a former member and haven't re-upped, because I know that happens sometimes during the month. Like I see Alan, I see Alexander. Hey, guys, make sure you guys have everything up to date on the YouTube channel because I see here that you have wrenches next to you, but I don't see that you're a member of the channel and you guys used to be. What's up? Come on, sign up today, become a member. Also, hey, want to remind you all too, help the channel by donating. Help the channel grow by donating, even if it's $1. There's 3 different ways you guys can do that. You guys can use the YouTube Live Super Chat, which is the $ down at the bottom of the chat. You guys can also use MSM Podcast Network with a $ in front of it on Cash App. And you guys can also use PayPal, which is MSM Podcast Network. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsor of the show, Tail Greeter. I'm even rocking their shirt today. Shout out to Tail Greeter. Shout out to Nick. Amazing sponsor of the show. They got a lot of good things planned for 2022. And y'all are the best fans in the world. So make sure you guys do that. Download the app today on your current Apple or Crapple or Android device. That's right. I say crap all you Apple users out there. Team Android all day. Let's go. Okay. Make sure you guys do that. Big shout out to Tail Greeter. All right. Also, hey, what's up? Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for the number one Miami fan morning show? I don't think y'all are ready. Let's get going right to it. Let me bring my man on. Daniel, what is going on? I hit it right. What's up, man? How are you doing, brother?
You know, good morning, man. How about you?
How are you? You're fresh off the left coast, man, right?
Yeah. I got in kind of late. My flight got delayed, so I didn't get in until around 1 Eastern time. But
this morning?
Yeah, but it is what it is. Stuff happens.
All right, well, first things first, because this is the stuff we got to talk about. Is this your first Super Bowl?
Yeah, first Super Bowl. So it was a lot of fun. Tried to soak it all in and do as much as I could on the short week. My trip got delayed because the Dolphins had to introduce McDaniel, so I wanted to stay around and meet him and do that. So I got into LA Thursday night. Was able to spend Friday, Saturday doing some stuff, and then Sunday I was at the game.
Did you do Radio Row on Friday?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't. So this is the thing. It was a crazy week. So I thought the Dolphins were going to introduce McDaniel on Wednesday. And I was supposed to get in on Wednesday, so I had to move stuff around. So by the time I landed Thursday night, I woke up Friday, and it was like I had to write like 3 stories ahead of Sunday. So I went to the convention center, but I didn't really pass by Radio Row. They have like a really cool exhibit, like this big exhibit in a hall for fans where they have a bunch of just exhibits. They have like if you're on my Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Daniel. If you probably could have seen it. I'll try to put together a recap. And they had all these just different events for like kids to like throw balls into hoops. They had a 40-yard dash. They had like a history of the NFL kind of walkway where you could see all the various instrumental moments in the league. So it was a really cool. I think it was called the NFL Super Bowl Experience. That's what it was called. So it's kind of an open, free event to fans to just kind of just look at everything and kind of have a cool lot of interactive events.
So before we get into game day, was there anything pre-game day that stuck out? Did you get to meet anybody cool pre-game day? Was there come on, name drop, baby. This is where you name
all
drop.
All the rich people were in the other box. The other box.
You didn't get to see LeBron. You weren't hanging out with LeBron or anything like that.
I wish, man. That's my favorite basketball player. I wish.
That's my favorite basketball player, and everybody on the show gives me crap because I root for him. But that's LeBron, okay. Man. Y'all can hate. Feel free to hate. LeBron. I like it.
He was in the rich people's box with his logo. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see him. But it was just cool, kind of soaking it in. Like SoFi is like obviously like a brand new spot. I mean, it looks incredible. I went to Allegiant earlier in the year, and then I went to SoFi, and those are like the most recent stadiums to be open.
Are they totally different? Are they totally different? So everybody says like it's one of the most amazing venues in all of sports.
Yeah, I mean, Allegiant is like, I think isn't it nicknamed like the Death Star? Like people compare it
the one in Vegas is called the Death Star.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, that's what it looks like because it's like this, like just big, like circular black. It's like pitch black, circular, just
correct
just contraption. SoFi is a little more bright, I would say. I mean, like outside, I think it's kind of like more whitish. On the outside,
is it big when you walk in and you see that big circle screen?
Yeah. So I left the press box before just to kind of walk around, kind of like where the fans were, where the fans go down to their seats, and you kind of look up and it's just so open. It's really nice.
I've heard like even the top row, like upper deck nosebleed seats are like good seats in that stadium.
Yeah, I don't think you can complain about anywhere where you sit. It was interesting you mentioned that because there were some members of the press who they were in like auxiliary press area seating, and it was literally like right next to fans. Like it wasn't nosebleed seating, but it was pretty high up, and they were like literally next to fans. It was open seating. It wasn't like enclosed, and they were literally right next to fans. And it was
were you part of that press box?
I was not. I was in the regular press box. Press box.
So what you're saying, Daniel, is you're kind of a big deal, and know people.
As a matter of fact, so I would never complain about any trip, any experience, because it's a blessing. Not many people get to cover Super Bowl.
No, complain, Daniel. Let's go. Let's hear it.
But I'm not gonna lie. I could not see a lot from the game. So I was in row 3. They had like 3 rows, and I was in row 3, and I was like in the corner of row 3. So I should have put that picture because I put a picture up of the stadium view from the press box. That was not my actual seat.
I was about to say I saw that photo, and I was like, bro, you like that's a for the Super Bowl.
Where I was, I was like in row 3, so I'm kind of elevated. I'm in the corner, and there was like a TV that they, in press boxes, they have a TVs where you can see the broadcast, but the TV was like blocking from like the 30 to the 30. So whenever like they got to midfield, I had to like duck and kind of look around. And
was the press box packed, by the way?
Yeah. I mean, that's why, because somebody even mentioned, they were like, I don't even think like SoFi ever uses the 3rd row because like they never had this many people in there. But it was definitely a cool experience. Food was good. Got to see a lot of people.
They said Daniel was in the box where they had the dice game going.
Man, right?
Let's go. Now, was there anybody that you saw during the day of the game? Like, did you get to see anybody day of the game name drop? Was there any big names that you saw or interviewed or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like single.
Come on, man, name drop.
You just see it's kind of like a who's who. You obviously you see a lot of the national reporters and those guys like Sal Palantonio. Pelissero may have been there, but I'm not completely sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I definitely saw Sao Paulo. Kevin Clark was a guy who I had even like raced for the Ringer. I mean, he's a guy that we'd follow each other a little bit on social media for a while, so I was able to introduce myself to him. And then obviously I got to see some old friends and whatnot. So it was kind of cool to be like, hey, like we were like 4 years ago, we were like student journalists, or we were here. And now it's like,
and now you're in the press box, the third row, though I might add, up in the corner,
hey, man,
where you gotta bend your neck to see the rest of the. Explain. So tell me the feeling of kickoff. When kickoff happens, you're at the Super Bowl. Just want to do you have goosebumps? Are you excited? What was that like?
I won't say goosebumps because I think it's a little different for me because I don't cover, like, I'm not a Bengals reporter, I'm not a Rams reporter. So I guess like I was still on deadline, so I had to write a couple of stories, but I wasn't like, hey, I didn't have goosebumps in that aspect. I was a little confused.
It's the Super Bowl, Daniel.
Yeah, I don't know. It's different because like it's different when you're watching it on TV because I feel like in some aspects, like a lot of people will say that watching a game on TV, you get a better view than the press box, and that's true in some aspects. Because again, like we're watching a broadcast, so you get to hear literally everything. I mean, when you're in a press box and you're kind of enclosed, you don't always get that. And also, they had like The Rock do like his little intro. And
by the way, I know there were people dogging him on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. I was 100% there for The Rock introducing.
So the thing is, they didn't pipe the audio into the press box. So I just I'm watching, I'm looking at the TV, and I see The Rock.
You just see him doing the facial.
I thought he was like, "Do you smell what?" I thought he was doing like that.
He did that.
Okay. I figured he was going to do that. But yeah, I couldn't hear anything at first. So I was like, "Why is The Rock down there?"
He's like, "Finally, The Rock has come back to the Super Bowl." You like my impression right there? My impression was great, right? That was good, right? All right, I'm sorry. No, I liked it. I was there for it. And what's cool is that stadium. If I'm correct, the Vegas team does Bruce Buffer or Michael Buffer.
Yeah, I think the Chargers. I think it might be the Chargers.
The Chargers do Michael Buffer.
I thought that's what they were gonna do.
It's not considered a home game, and they didn't want to have, so they didn't. But they brought in The Rock for it, right?
Gotcha.
And I liked it. I was there for it. I thought it was awesome.
I'm sure like some players were confused because they were like ready for the kickoff, and then The Rock pulls up, and I was like,
"Well, they're on the team, and he's on the field." Now I know people were like whatchamacallit, making fun of his little outfit, his little getup.
It was a nice little fit. It was a nice little fit.
Like my man, he was clanging and banging. You could just see like he had just come from a workout. That's all I'm gonna say. That man is ripped. Okay, so kickoff happens, first half happens. I will get to talk to football. Halftime happens. Now, if you are from the ages of, I want to say 24 to probably 40. Let's say that 16-year age gap, right?
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, I think you were in heaven. I think the people thought if you were in that age gap, you thought it was the best halftime show.
I turned into a fan for about 10, 15 minutes. I turned into a fan. I left I had to write about that too. So I left the press box. I went down to where the fans were. I squeezed in next to this nice woman that let me stand next to her. And I was a fan. I was a fan for a good.
So were you on like the first level for the halftime show?
No. I wasn't that low. Like pretty much like the entrance. It's like where you start, like where you walk down to the seating. Like I was kind of like at the top there, and I was just looking at everything. But nah, I enjoyed it. Like I'm a big Kendrick fan. So Kendrick
Lamar killed it. Like I'll be honest with you, he had the best part.
I think so too. He's like my top 3 favorite rappers. I never seen him live performing, so that was cool to see that. It was really cool. I mean, you know, I'm not like. I didn't grow up with Dre and Snoop, but I still like
Daniel, you ain't old enough for that halftime show. Nah. He said, "Don't do that to me, son."
You said I'm right at the cutoff. You said 24 to 40. I'm right at the cutoff, man.
Look, I thought it was great, and for me, seeing Snoop. First of all, I love Snoop, and I thought he killed it with Dr. Dre. And but there were a few things that I was disappointed in. All right. So 2 things I was disappointed in. Number one, I wanted to see a hologram. You already know who I wanted to see.
Oh yeah, everyone was expecting that.
I wanted to see a Tupac hologram. That's what I wanted to see.
We're past that. I feel like we
I was cheating. And number two, I felt like it was anticlimactic, right? I felt like you had everybody come out, and there should have been the last 2 or 3 minutes. Like there just wasn't that ending. There wasn't that ending. But overall, it was great. It was amazing.
No, I really enjoyed it. And it's like, it's funny. I think the crowd was like, I don't know if you heard it, but I feel like the crowd was at its craziest when Eminem came out. Like I remember I was standing next to
the video. He was upside down and everything, and you should have seen Twitter.
You mean 50? You mean 50 or
50?
No, I think at the end when Eminem did Lose Yourself, that's when the crowd was really going crazy. You know.
So it sounded like the crowd was into it, which I've never really heard the crowd hype the way I was.
They were in. So like obviously there's like different demographics, or a lot of different people here. So like a funny story real quick. So Kendrick comes out, and when Kendrick comes out, I'm going crazy. So he's doing all right. And I'm like, not that. We all right. Right. And there's an older white woman standing next to me, and she probably never heard of Kendrick's song.
She's like, oh yeah, I like this. This is
no. She was just kind of like,
okay.
Then Eminem comes on, and he's like, you gotta lose yourself. And she was going crazy. She was like me a couple of minutes ago. It's like, I'm not a big Eminem fan, so I was just kind of like, she's like,
She was getting it up. She's like, oh my gosh, Marshall Mathers, let's go.
Yeah, she was getting into it. Now the whole crowd erupted when it went.
I that was one thing that I got from the halftime show that I like. I've watched. There's two things that like as an adult I had a thought watching the halftime show.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I remember watching halftime shows for years. And my parents getting excited about some of the halftime show acts.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and them being like, oh man, they still sound the same. Oh, they sound so good. Like, and so I had that parent moment watching Snoop and Dre where I'm like, holy cow, this has been 20 years, 25 years.
Yeah.
Like some of these songs are like almost as old as me, if not older than me.
Yes.
And it definitely was like, oh man, this is, it just kind of gave me a feeling like I'm getting old. Like I like this is real. I'm getting old. And then when 50 Cent came up upside down, you should have seen Twitter. Twitter went insane.
I'm sure.
Because they were like, oh man, we look so much bigger than. I'm like, guys. Some people were like, I want you to go look at 20 years ago your picture and tell me you don't look bigger than your picture 20 years ago. Yeah. The difference between them and 50 is 50's jacked. Like he's full of muscle now. Yeah. But yeah, man, I thought it was great, dude. I thought it was one of the best halftime shows in recent history. I mean, I got to put it up there with Michael Jackson's, Prince's halftime show. It was that good.
Now, it's funny you mentioned that, kind of like the changing of the guard with the generations and getting older. Like when Prince did his, like that's probably one of the first Super Bowls I remember. That was the Colts. Was that the Colts Bears Super Bowl? I was probably like in like second or third grade back then. Like my parents knew about that. They knew. I didn't know Prince back then. And then over the years, you see some like the newer acts. Well, I mean, the newer acts, but they're kind of older to us. Like I'll stop playing with 50, man. Don't do 50 like that.
Chris the Locker said 50 Cent looking like $1.25.
even a couple years back, like having Beyonce, it's like it's kind of crazy now. Like Kendrick Lamar is doing a Super Bowl halftime show. It's crazy to think that.
Well, I always loved Bruno Mars. I thought Bruno Mars always did a great halftime show.
Yeah. Obviously, Bruno a couple years back and brought Beyonce, but Beyonce when she took the lights out, I mean, I feel like people don't talk about that enough in terms of like the best Super Bowl.
That was San Francisco. That was such a good Super Bowl halftime show.
Special one.
Yep. All right, so enough of that. Let's go to the game. Let's talk about the game real quick. So the game happens. Would you say there was majority Bengals fans, majority Rams fan? What would you say?
It was definitely leaning Bengals. Like when they introduced them pregame, you definitely heard the louder crowd for the Bengals. And people were even mentioning it like throughout the week. They were like, I see so many Bengals fans, so many Bengals jerseys. And my thing was like, I didn't want to make too much of it there because I was like, of course. Like, I mean, the Bengals are coming into a new city. I would expect that they would be wearing their gear and whatnot. But you definitely saw it when you were like walking into the stadium when they introduced them. In terms of like actually how it looked, I mean, I could say it was pretty split. It seemed like it was pretty split. But
was there fans of a lot of other teams there? Did it look like an international game?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a Dan Marino jersey. I saw somebody with a Lamar Jackson jersey. So definitely, you had the
You
respected
saw Dolphins
fans.
fans.
What?
You saw Dolphins fans.
I saw, yeah. I mean, even when I was out during the week, I saw a guy in the Dolphins hat. It makes sense. I mean, Super Bowl, anybody can enjoy Super Bowl. So there were definitely a lot of different, definitely a lot of
Well,
non-Bengals
not
members.
everybody can enjoy Super Bowl because those ticket prices, Daniel, were insane. I did
Yeah,
see the closer we got to game time,
they kind
the
of dropped
ticket
down a little
prices
bit, but
went
still,
down
that's a couple
significantly.
bands for a
You're
Super
still
Bowl.
paying $3 or $4 grand for a
Yeah, it's like a
nosebleed
hot.
ticket.
Yeah, to be all the way up. Yeah.
Now, let's just get something straight. If I had the money, I might be taking out a personal loan for the Dolphins when they go to the Super Bowl. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. But yes, I saw the prices. I don't think the average fan can go to the Super Bowl anymore. That's what
It's really
bothers me
not
about the
like
Super
somebody
Bowl.
made a good point. I think it was like Shannon Sharp or somebody, but they've outpriced the casual fan. It's not. It's almost like it's not even really for the casual fan. It's for
It's not.
like the celebrity and that, which kind of sucks. I mean, you won. Think of Bengals fans that haven't been there for 3 decades, and it's like if they didn't really have the means to get there, it's kind of unfortunate. But that's kind of just the world we live in now.
Back to the game a little bit. So the game gets going. First quarter happens. We see Odell Beckham Jr. with the touchdown. He gets like 50 plus yards. He's got a touchdown. I turn to my wife. I say, he's about to go off. He's about to have the game of his career. Mark my words. Odell's going to be the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If he was healthy, there is no doubt in my mind he would have been. Especially that Cooper Kupp ended up getting to MVP, which I'll get to that in a minute. But when he went down, I said, man, this is going to hurt them.
Yeah.
Because Cooper Kupp is the guy that gets all of the double teams and the play coverages, which allows Odell. And I was like, I don't think they have that second receiver that's going to do it. And I was right, by the way, in my assumption. There was really no second receiver that stood up. It was throwing in the fourth quarter to triple coverage to Cooper Kupp and to some pretty wild throws. What do you think about the offense from the Rams and the defense from the Bengals? Because I think that's what it came down to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's any surprise that after that Odell injury, that the offense really bogged down. I mean, you saw like 2 plays later or whatever, Stafford just kind of throws up a random bomb to Van Jefferson, and you're like, that's not Van Jefferson's game to just kind of throw up jump balls when he gets intercepted. So yeah, I mean, it definitely changed things. I mean, if they had lost that game, I mean, you could reasonably have said they lost that game because Odell got hurt. But obviously, that final drive, they were able to move Cooper Kupp around and get him the ball in some creative ways and just kind of do a little bit of hurry up. But yeah, I mean, it was crazy how much influence Odell ultimately had because most people are like, he's not going to make that much of a difference. He's just kind of a luxury. And before you know it, he was like an integral, important piece of that offense. So it was unfortunate to see him get hurt, but obviously he was able to score. He was able to celebrate with his fans. And hopefully, unless you're a Browns fan, you're pretty happy for him right now.
Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clap Blockers, the Miami Herald, Miami Dolphins report with Daniel Oyefusi right here as we do each and every Tuesday. Daniel, just coming off of the plane a few hours ago from the left coast from the Super Bowl. We're wrapping up our Super Bowl talk, and we got one more question for you about the Super Bowl, and then I want to get into McDaniel talk a little bit. Did you think that Cooper was deserving of the MVP? And did you all? Where were you for like the Super Bowl presentation? Did you go out on the field, or were you still up in the press box?
No, I was still in the press box. When you're on deadline, and you got to think we're on the West Coast too, so it's like 10 o'clock in the East Coast. So we have print deadline, so I had to type that out, get that out real quick. So I stayed up to kind of watch stuff on the TV. With Kupp, it's tough because you do have to think if he's not there for that final drive. I mean.
There's no way they win that game. That much I'll give.
But I mean, the impact Aaron Donald had in the second half of that game was ridiculous, and it's tough on the writers because the writers who vote on it, it's like a group of reporters, panel of reporters that vote on it, and then it's also a fan vote. They have to put in their vote in the final 2 minutes of the game, so they put the vote in before Aaron Donald made the 2 biggest plays of the game, which was literally stopping Pirine from getting a first down with one hand and then just ragdolling the offensive lineman to force the incompletion that seals the game. If they're able to vote like right after that happens, I'm pretty sure that most of them are probably voting for Donald instead. So it just kind of is what it's kind of the nature of the beast in terms of how they do the voting. Cup was pretty quiet for most of that game. I mean, he had 4 of his 8 catches on the final drive. So I get it, but it's like in terms of his overall impact, like from beginning to end, you can make the argument that Donald was a little more deserving. But, good for Cup. I mean, that's kind of the cap on one of the greatest seasons from a receiver ever. I mean, it's like the most decorated individual season ever. So, so good for him, and especially because he missed last time they came to the Super Bowl.
Well, I don't know if he beats Jerry Rice's season, but I do think it's one of the best seasons up there. You got to remember there was this player named Jerry Rice, my cousin.
No, but I'm saying
about
okay,
Jerry.
But real quick, because I wrote about it. Never has a receiver. Okay, so Jerry Rice and Cooper Kupp are the only receivers to ever have an NFL Offensive Player of the Year, win the receiving Triple Crown, and be Super Bowl MVP. But Jerry didn't do that all in one season. Cooper Kupp did that all in one season. So I'm just saying, in terms of like decorated like accolades, you got to put Cooper up there, and he got one MVP vote too for league MVP. So
that's true. All right, I'll concede to that notion. All right. Before you left for the Super Bowl, Miami had this drama. I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know if you cover the team on a daily basis or not. But they finally announced that they had a coach in Mike McDaniel. We haven't had a chance to talk about that. How did you get the news, and what was the overall feeling at that press conference? Because we listened to that press conference live on Clock Blockers, and we heard somebody ask a question that we know. We heard your voice.
Yeah, that was me. I don't usually cover the team, but I decided to make a little appearance and see if I can get a question.
I just wanted to let the people know I was there, doing my job. I got you. I understand. A man of the people, Daniel. I get
exactly.
You. What was that? What was that press conference like, and what was the overall feeling of Mike McDaniel?
It was nice. Obviously they dress it up. They had the little podium, the lectern. They got the Dolphins backdrop. Everyone is there from the team. So obviously Greer, Stephen Ross, yep. Garfinkel, all those people are there. So you have that and whatnot. And it was good. I thought that it was a nice introductory press conference. I mean, you never want to make too much over the intro press conference because a lot of coaches have won the press conference and then not won any games that matter after that. But I thought it was a good start for McDaniel. I thought that he showed his personality. I was curious to see how much he kind of diverged from that. If this is his first time really addressing like a real big group of people since he's probably ever been a coach, like in terms of just him being a head coach addressing reporters. So I was curious to see if he kind of like toned it down and was like, oh, I'm going to go more, corporate, straightforward. Or I liked the fact that he made jokes. He was kind of self-deprecating. I liked kind of the vision for the team. He didn't want to make it just about him and him being an offensive genius. He didn't want to make it too much about Tua and what he can do with Tua. He wanted to make it about being an entire team, and I did like that. And then afterward, when he kind of went off the podium, you got to speak to him for a little bit. I think it's going to be good. I mean, I think that there's warranted excitement about what he can bring. I'm excited to get to know him as a person, as a coach.
He's got a personality to him. He's got a flair.
He does. And again, from a media perspective, he's kind of the anti-Flores. So you do like that. He is who he is. And I like the fact that he's genuine and he's not going to try to be anyone but himself. So obviously, it was a nice introduction, and he's putting the staff together right now. It's going to be interesting to see kind of his vision for the team and how it plays out.
That's where I want to go to next. So let's start on the defensive side. He decides to retain Josh Boyer. It looks like Vic Fangio is going to take the year off. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but I believe that the Dolphins wanted him, but I don't know what the final or overall, end goal. And obviously he didn't come. We retained Boyer. We retained special teams coordinator and Danny Crossman. And a couple of other defensive coaches stay on board, although we do let go of Gerald Alexander. The defensive side, I have to admit, from my point of view, I'm not sold on the Boyer situation. It bothers me. And I also have a conspiracy theory to it. And here goes my conspiracy theory, Daniel. And I don't know if you want to comment on it or not, but my conspiracy theory to it is Ross and Greer told McDaniel we'll give you the job with stipulations. And part of those stipulations are you have to retain Boyer as a defensive coordinator for a minimum of 1 year. Whatever the reason is, which is a whole other conspiracy theory in its own. But that, I believe, was a stipulation that Ross and Greer said you have to retain Boyer. I do think that they thought about Fangio as a unit. But I think that was the deal that they said you're going to keep Boyer unless a better opportunity rolls around. I don't know what you feel about that or how you feel about that, because I don't, in my personal opinion, I don't see a big benefit to retaining him. I get why people are going to say, Steven, look at the defense last year. Don't you want to retain some of that coaching staff? Well, why get rid of Herald Alexander? Because he was the best position on defense last year was secondary. So why get rid of your secondary coach?
Well, it's tough, and it's a couple layers to it, and I guess I'll start with Alexander. I mean, all the reports were that it wasn't like the wording I thought was really interesting. There were most of the reports were that he was fired, not that they kind of decided to part ways.
Yeah.
I don't want to do too much speculation into it, but I guess I will. I mean, he was tight with Flores.
He was a Flores guy.
He was someone that was publicly in support of Flores, even after the lawsuit. I'm not sure what role that played, but I think that is something to kind of take into account. With Boyer, I won't question any fans kind of questioning that and kind of frustration with that, because there were a lot of questions about what role did Flores have, and even partially Alexander the second half of the season when there was a lot of talk that Flores was calling plays and whatnot. I think that that's very fair to question that. But again, I think that they
say it one more time, because fans continue to argue with me on this, Daniel. It's fair to argue. There's no evidence.
It's fair to it's. I mean, no. We were questioning it too. We were wondering too. We're like, I mean, something has to shift. I mean, there was some speculation reports that Alexander was kind of given some coordinator duties, and he had a hand in some of the different play calling. So again, it is fair question. What is?
I'm telling you, my theory is not without basis and without I'm telling you, my theory is Boyer is a Stephen Ross and Greer guy, and Flores is obviously his own man. And Gerald Alexander was a Flores guy, and I think that's why you heard him getting fired, not a mutual. How many times do you hear that? 90%, 99% of the time, Daniel, you would be the team and coach mutually decided to part ways. He was fired. That's what the report came out.
Yeah, but Flores did bring in Boyer, so I don't know if you can say that I don't know if you can say that Boyer is like a Ross.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that, Daniel, because here's my theory on that. He brought in Boyer because he wanted somebody who was a lapdog, who was saying, "Okay, yes, I'll try to do it the way you want to do it," and that if he decided to decide to call the plays, that person wasn't going to argue with him.
Yeah,
that's why you didn't see a defensive specialist like Vic Fangio, Leslie Frazier, Raheem Morris. Any one of those guys could come in.
Yeah, I mean, we always knew that this was Flores' defense. I mean, Boyer may have been the defensive coordinator, but we all knew this was Flores' 100%. Defense. So again, it's gonna be. I don't want to say Boyer is gonna be on the hot seat, but this defense can't look like the first half of the season. It cannot look like that, because then if Flores is gone, Alexander gone. It's Boyer's defense now, so he's gonna be there's gonna be pressure on him to keep that same level of consistency in the play that we saw the second half of the year.
Okay, let's get off the defensive conspiracy bandwagon. Let's talk about the offensive side. Yesterday they confirmed Frank Smith is going to be the offensive coordinator, which I'd love. I'd love hearing names like Matt Applebaum, the offensive line coach from Boston College, who top 10 offensive line the last 4 years in college football. Absolutely. I honestly think that out of all the hires is the number one hire. I love Wes Welker as the wide receiver coach. The man's coming back home. I love to see the Dolphin man back. I was surprised to see Eric Studsville stay on, after being a co-offensive coordinator?
He has a lot of, as a running backs coach, he's a very respected running backs coach. And somebody made a good point that he's like made it through a lot of coaching changes, like dating back to Denver.
He survives a lot.
Yeah, so I mean, that shows what respect he has as a running backs coach.
The tight end coach, John Embry, I love that hire. Look, I'll say this, and Frank Smith, I think, is going to be the. We all know McDaniel said in the introductory press conference he was going to call plays. So, in my opinion, all this is Frank Smith getting a chance to learn and have the tutelage under McDaniel for calling plays, right? And they said he's going to be a run game specialist, so he'll help institute a run game.
Yeah. I think it's going to be more week-to-week game planning and making sure. I think that the offensive coordinator hire was important to get somebody who like knows your system and can help in terms of like implementing it on a week-to-week basis, like, you know, leading up to game day. So I think that was really what is going to be important for his position.
Level 2 Noob says built an O-line in a subpar conference. I might add to you, good sir, about that with Applebaum. Two things. Number one, all of his offensive linemen had grades on PFF, which I know I get. Anytime you bring up PFF, people want to argue with you, which is fine. But according to PFF, all of his offensive linemen had grades over 80 in the 80s. No other college football team had all of their starting offensive line with grades in the 80 for O-line. And number two, I'll also argue the fact to you that what we need is somebody to teach these young players and help build them up. And having a guy like that in college who's already done that, who knows how to teach and bring up, you know, elevate talent, that's what you want at the O-line. That's what makes a good O-line coach. And if we're all stating, fans, media, whatever alike, we know that the O-line is one of the positions that gets criticized and critiqued the most, and the one that we would say over the last 15 to 20 years has given us the most headache. So I think, I'll be honest with you, I personally think that Applebaum, along with McDaniel, I think this will be our best offensive line this year that we've had in the last 20 years. I think it'll be rated the best. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point about like with the offensive line coach. I'm sure some fans probably would have wanted somebody like more experience in terms of like NFL. But yeah, I mean, the track record over the past couple of years, especially with developing NFL offensive linemen or guys that are going to be an offensive lineman, like Zion Johnson might be the top interior offensive lineman prospect in the draft. And he's a guy that I think that Dolphins fans should kind of keep their eye on, maybe potentially with that first pick. But, you know, it's important to get somebody who can teach the system that you want to implement. And I saw one of the PFF reporters posted some stat that like since he got to BC, they mainly ran like a zone running scheme. Obviously, that's going to be a big part of the Dolphins offense with McDaniel. So you want somebody who knows the system and can implement that and teach that well. So yeah, it's definitely a good start. I think that personnel is going to be important because I think that the team that McDaniels wants to run, I don't know if he has the perfect personnel right now, especially on the offensive line. So I think there's definitely going to be some changes there. Maybe you guys get shifted around again. I'm not really sure yet. I haven't talked to McDaniel about that. But the personnel, I mean, I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done with the career in terms of getting the right players. I mean, probably going to see a fullback on this team in 2022. They got to get somebody like that. They got to get some new offensive linemen and maybe coach up some of the current offensive linemen to be able to implement that scheme. But it's a good start for sure.
All right, man. Look, we went through everything this morning. Is there anything that I missed? We talked about the Super Bowl. We talked about the halftime show. We talked about your travel. We talked about how was the food? How was the food in LA? I didn't talk about the food.
It was good. I'm trying to think what I had. It's a blur. I feel like I got some Roscoe chicken and waffles on my last day before I headed out. I love me some Roscoe, so I had to get that. But it was good. It was like a nice little, like I was all around Figueroa Street and all that near the convention center and the new crypto.com arena. And there was like a Japanese hibachi grill, and I was digging into that. So I got.
Did you have hibachi? Entertainment, as I might add. I love it.
No, I didn't sit down. I picked it up and I went back to the hotel. But it was some nice hibachi Japanese grill. It was nice.
All right, man. Look, I'm glad that you had a good time out in LA. If you have not followed this man, follow him on social media at Daniel Oyefusi. Absolutely amazing content. Your pictures were great. Now they were kind of misleading, the press box picture. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I'm sorry.
I need to see a real picture. I need to see a real picture.
I might have actually, because I tried to take a picture and I was like, it's not going to do it.
No. So just let you know, I need to see a real picture, and I need you to tag me on this. Steven, here's the real picture. But I'm glad you came on. Promote everything that you got going on, your podcast with the Miami Herald, all that stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, obviously, if you want to read any of my work, you can get that Miami Herald, MiamiHerald.com. We have the Miami Herald app. We have the Dolphins in Depth podcast every Wednesday. Comes out every Wednesday morning, everywhere you get podcasts. So obviously, it's going to be a good episode coming up soon. Getting ready to record it later today. Just kind of recapping Super Bowl, McDaniel, and kind of looking ahead to the offseason because it's officially the offseason. So definitely got a lot of stuff going up. I mean, we got the combine in 2 weeks, so it's definitely a lot of content at the Miami Herald.
It's funny. I was like thinking, I'm like, man, we got content above content above content. We haven't really missed a stride covering this football team. So I think next week we'll obviously have the chance to talk about, maybe finishing off this coaching staff as well as players' names to kind of look out for in the combine. Are you going up to Indianapolis?
Yeah, I'll be there for sure.
All right, man. Well, look, let's enjoy it. Let's have a good time. Thank you for covering it. And we'll see you next week right here on Clock Blockers.
What's that, man? You take care.
See you, man. Be good. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. I'm your host, Stephen D. Super excited to be hanging out with y'all this morning. Look, man, it's been a crazy weekend. I hope you all enjoyed it. I've had such a good time. But now it's time for the show to go to you, the fans. We're about to do a Dolphin panel. Are y'all ready? I'm excited. I missed you all over the weekend. I want to hear your thoughts about the halftime show, what you thought of the game. We could talk about the coaching staff. We could talk about my conspiracy theory that I have. Whatever you guys want to do, I definitely want to hang out and talk to you. So in the chat is the link to come on. I'll bring you guys on. And just to further elaborate on my conspiracy theory. And guys, real quick, actually, before I go into that conspiracy theory, guys, sign up, become a member today. The link is in the description below for you to join. Also, donate to the channel, help the channel grow. You guys can use Cash App, $MSM Podcast Network, or PayPal, which is MSM Podcast Network. If you guys use those two, it definitely helps out. It goes such a long way. So donate to the channel. I don't care if it's $1. It helps the channel grow. Yeah, man, look, I think as far as my conspiracy theory is concerned, that people, I've thought long and hard about it. And that I have no proof of it. I can't tell you I have a source. None of that. All I can go is off of the eye test and what things are telling me. My gut is telling me. And my gut tells me there's no other reason to retain Boyer and let go of Alexander. And look, it very well possibly could be as simple as, hey, look, they liked what the defense was doing last year, or McDaniel did, and he decided to retain him on. But it's so hard for me to believe that a brand new head coach would do that, because I feel that head coaches understand, they understand the need. Hey, look, I might only have a year. So if I might only have a year, if I sink or succeed and float, I want to do it with my guys, because at least I'll know I'll fail with my guys. There's always that question though, like, well, hey, look, I didn't fail because of me. I failed because the owners told me to keep this guy and retain him, and he's not my guy to begin with. So let me tell you, if our defense does not step up to the par that it was for the last 8 games, I'm not putting this on McDaniel. Just want to throw that out there, people. Not gonna put it on him. He gets a free pass with me on the defense this year. And you call it what you want, but he is. I will also go as far to say that if he does not win more than 9 games, he's not staying as the coach. He's going to be a one and done. If you fail for any reason on that end, you're one and done. If you just miss out on the playoffs but win more than 9 games, I think you have an opportunity to stay, especially if it's more defense than offense. And people are going to want to argue that theory with me, and I get it. That's fine. I get it. but just understand like all the different levels to this. Because the number one position on defense was secondary, and you got rid of that coach. So don't tell me that you're keeping Boyer. Like, it's hard for me to hear that argument from you. It's hard to hear that argument from you. Omar says he's not a one and done. The organization will get killed if they do that. I'm going to do you one better. And I didn't even talk about this with Daniel, and I wanted to, and I'm just now remembering. There's been rumors circulating over the weekend. If y'all have seen all the stuff, that it now, look, they're rumors, but there's a lot of them, and the national media is circulating these rumors too. Ian Rappaport being one of those people, stating that if it is deemed that Stephen Ross paid for losses, he will lose the team. That's a done deal if they come to find that out. And I have said that if they deem him that there's evidence of this, he's going to lose the team. And y'all can argue with me all you want on that, but there's a number one, there's no precedent. Let's get that straight. But look at the history of sports and gambling and fixing games. And I put that in quotations. So don't tell me that McDaniel's not a one and done. It's very plausible that he is. And I understand there's another argument to be said. Why are we talking about a guy who hasn't even had the chance to do anything? You're right. This is all hearsay. This is all speculation. I'll give you that too. But guess what? It's February 15th, and that's all I can do is speculate. There's nothing else to really talk about. We can talk about the combine. Football season's over. This is the time for conspiracy theories. This is the time to start scratching your head to go, look, 1 and 1 is 2, but this don't add up to 2. And I'm telling you right now, here's the receipts. I like what Gene says. Boyer seems like a placeholder. Boyer's a placeholder. If they lose less than 9 games, expect everybody to go, including Greer. Okay? Just listen to me. Okay? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. This is all gut feelings. And I'm going to be wrong more than I'm going to be right. But based on the past transgressions of this organization, based on the past moves of this organization, this is what I think the outcome will be. And if if Ross is stripped of this team, I also see them not saying, my hope, this is a hope. This is nothing more than a hope. That if they deem that Ross is not the person that needs to run this team, that they should also rip up the secession plan. And it shouldn't go to the guy from New York, Beal. This is my thoughts. There's no precedent to this. There's nothing more than speculation to it. That's what I think. And that's what I hope on certain things. And you all know that I also think that Ross should sell the team on his own merit. And I know that some people are mad at me for saying that. That's fine too. All right. I got a lot of people in the back room. I'm sure some of y'all want to kill me, throw me under the bus, whatever the case is. Let's go ahead and start bringing some of these people on. I'm going to try to bring you on all at one time. So I'll bring you on all at one time that I have in the back room right now, and then I'll introduce you one at a time before you all start killing me and debating with me. All right. I'm going to bring on Crypto, Alexander, Drubatron, Miss Fins, and Color Commentary. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's going on?
Guys, how you doing?
Morning.
All right. Who wants to argue with me first? I'm ready for the smoke. I'm ready for the heat.
What are we arguing about?
I mean, what I've been talking about this morning. Do y'all agree with me or do y'all disagree with me?
Personally, I agree with the Stephen Ross situation.
To a certain point, that I think Stephen Ross is going to try to buy his way out of this one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Crypto.
What I've been seeing is that as far as selling the team goes, if in order to force a sell, it would have to get 3/4 of a vote from the owners, and it does based on the reporting, it doesn't seem like it seems like they already think that they're going to find evidence that he offered to pay money for the losses, but there's nobody believes that they're going to get a 3/4 vote to force him to sell.
There's two things that I'll say to this. Number one, Ian Rappaport is big enough that he's not going to say something like that without it coming from a high-end source. Number two, he was in LA all week, and so was Goodell. And so,
but the Ian Rappaport,
I think it's
that they could force him to trade,
and
to sell, but not that they will force him to sell.
I understand that you're going into logistics here, to detail of could, should, would. I get all that, but if they do, he will sell the team.
I don't think it'll happen.
Pressure him. It'll be like a Steve Ballmer with the Clippers situation. So much pressure to give up the ghost. He'll give it.
I agree.
I think that's a very interesting fact. So Steve Ballmer, the new owner of the Clippers, and who was the old owner? What's his name?
I forget his name.
Help me out, guys. Donald Sterling.
Sure.
Donald Sterling. I think there's two things with that, right? Donald Sterling came out as a bigoted racist, and there was no denying that. There was plenty of evidence to uphold that situation. There was nothing good that came out of that for the league or the owners or even himself there. Like, he had to sell the team. He was forced to sell the team, and rightfully so, right?
Right. And there was, right, Stephen D., and to that point, I'm not sure there was any kind of rules on the books per se that he violated.
There was.
There was public outcry that he just said.
There was a public outcry, but so owners now have what they're called a morality clause, and it deems that if you break morals that put the league or your franchise in a negative light, that they have the right to get together as a board and vote you out.
Sure, but that negative light, let's be honest, that's a subjective feeling. So
100%, because we can look at the Daniel Snyder situation and say that man should have been gone 10 years ago from the league.
Right, because what if everybody in Carolina agreed with Daniel Snyder? Is it putting a bad light on them?
I mean, in Washington, yeah, you're right, 100%. And the old owner of Carolina, though. What's the owner of Carolina that was forced to sell the team? He was, and that's a morality situation too. And you're right, it's a perception team, right? So
that leads me to my point to make about what's going on with that report from Ian Rappaport. I really see that as a flag up a flagpole, not just for the greater public, but also for the owners. Because if they put out a report like that,
I'm putting you on notice,
all kinds of suggestions, then they're waiting to see, do we get hammered by a bunch of phone calls from different owners saying, pump the brakes on that? Or do we get a bunch of phone calls from owners going, yeah, I kind of feel that way too. They're just trying to find out where they're at by running a report like that.
Color, you bring up such a very interesting point. So I think when the emails, these 700,000 emails that were leaked that got Gruden fired, right? That were the basis to end up getting Gruden, kicked out, resigned, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter, right? I think that put the owners on I put the owners on notice. Hey, you can't just do anything you want or say whatever you want. You're gonna get caught. It's gonna come out. There's nothing based on nothing more than law of averages. There is nothing nobody can tell me to say that there is some not more damaging emails in those 700,000 emails than
Listen, they're
Jerry Gruden
always
running
going to
his
look
mouth.
after
And it
themselves.
goes back to the NFL's investigators being all ex-CIA and
Yep.
and having those contacts. I mean, the NFL knows exactly what the score is. Trust me.
100%. Now, this is where I get into the Ross situation. Ross is not, considered, a racist. He hasn't, done any, domestic abuse, affairs, whatever. None of that we know of has come to light or any of that situation. This is something that for the history of sports has always had a red flag to it. Meddling in the outcome of games with kickbacks, with money, with bribes, with pay to play, whatever the case may be.
Which, by the way, is not illegal according to federal law, by the way.
If I am correct, and I could be wrong, if you do, I think it is illegal. If you're paying somebody an outcome of a game and it's more than $10,000, I think it's a federal crime.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it's I'm not sure if it has something to do with the fact that the NFL testified before Congress that they were an entertainment industry. So, in other words, this is why the WWE doesn't get in trouble for fixing their whole matches.
I get you. Christolakis, if you're watching, because I know that you're a lawyer, if you could look that up, Christolakis, I would be interested to know what the law says. Hit me up in the chat box saying, "Hey, I'm going to look this up."
I'm going based on a video I watched them interviewing the guy that blew the whistle on all the point shaving.
I remember Mike Florio.
He was saying that it's not actually illegal to do it. Like if I go to if I'm a bookie or whatever or an odds maker and a quarterback comes to me and says this is how he put it. Quarterback comes to me and says I need some bread. You know what I mean? They can do things like that. Like a quarterback throwing an extra touchdown because he, you know what I mean, of all that. That's not illegal. There's no laws against that.
So level two noob says it's not illegal to talk about the breaking the law, and as of now, that's all that's happened.
That's also my point is that Flores didn't take the money, so why should we get penalized?
Well, we don't know it. We don't know if he did or didn't.
No, Flores says he didn't take the money. He said he didn't take it.
Well, now that's up for debate and interpretation as well, right? Like he could physically say, "Well, I never physically took the money." But the money was deposited in my account, and I've never.
18 U.S. Code number 224, bribery in sports contests. That is a law. It is.
Right. And again,
whoever carries into effect, attempts to carry into effect.
Entity that
I'm reading the act.
Go ahead, Crypto.
Whoever carries into effect, attempts to carry into effect, or conspires with any other person to carry into effect any scheme in commerce to influence in any way by bribery any sporting contest with knowledge that the purpose of such scheme is to influence by bribery that contest shall be fined under the title or comprised not by more than 5 years of both. So it is an act on the books.
But again, it's not a contest. These games are not contests, technically.
The hell if they're not.
To you and I are, but all the NFL has to do is come out and publicly say it's not real. They're not real contests.
So all right. So
they can't do that after the fact.
They've already said that to Congress.
Color brings up a good point. There are ways around it. Now, if the NFL wanted to come out and say we are strictly for entertainment purposes, nothing more, and they leave it at that, so Christolakis, get up here. I would love to get you on the panel.
I agree with what everybody's saying.
It's a contest by definition.
I'm just saying what they testified to Congress.
Color, I don't think you're arguing that fact. I think you're playing devil's advocate here that,
Pretty much.
The NFL is a multi-billion-dollar organization. If you don't think they're going to try to word things to their thing, but I don't think it'll ever get to that. I think they'll settle out of court.
They can't wordsmith that they want.
They don't want to go into court and say that. That would not be a good look to them.
Right.
Yeah, especially
the owners just squashed the whole thing by voting Ross out. You know what I mean?
Especially with everything that they are doing with sports gambling. That's the last thing they want to do.
The owners don't want to be sitting in front of Congress. So that could be the leverage that the league has to get Ross out.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, look, if you get and baseball's just the one that makes, the most sense to me. Pete Rose Shoeless Joe, you know, and I know that these are
Wrong way, Sam.
Yeah, like I get like those are the ones that and a lot of these were years ago before the money is what the money is today in sports. But what I'll say to it is there is a precedent in sports that if you deal with the outcome of games and you were paid to take money to decide the outcome of games, you're gonna get banned for life. You're gonna be gone. And so it's not out of the realm of questioning.
I think he'll pay the fine, Stephen D. He won't go to prison for 5 years.
I don't think he'll go to prison, but I don't think he's going to keep the team.
Yeah, I agree. I think the NFL is going to have to do something to save face when it comes.
That'd be something to see an 80-year-old man do the perk walk. You know, that'd be something else. You know,
I would love to see it.
Forget about the gambling. What about the fact that regardless of what we think, and because we're all in the weeds, not everybody knew we were tanking. So what about the season ticket holders in the
wait a minute, they just go to interview all the Dolphins fans,
expecting they were looking at a real product.
Oh, look, I think there's a domino.
Color, I'm sorry. It was literally called Tank for Tua. So
right.
I don't know. It was a whole
that was the slogan.
I just met a diehard fan that had no idea about all that. I'm telling you that not everybody is in the weeds like we are.
No, we were.
But everybody in sports know that,
and that doesn't mean that everybody agreed with it either.
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead,
Joe. Agree with it. Everybody who's in football knows the scheme.
Go ahead, Jolie.
And thank you for Tua. Those are the most two.
I get it, but look. I regularly see about 30,000 Miami Dolphin fans on the internet. We fill a stadium with 80,000 people. You know what I mean? A lot of people might have known or heard about it, but didn't want to believe that was true. Like, you know what I mean?
Nobody wants to.
Everybody knew.
But we understood that where the team was at the time, we didn't have enough to win. So if we're not going to win,
I get that. But again, not everybody's in the weeds. If Ross would have stood up at the podium and said the Miami Dolphins are trying to lose games, then we couldn't expect a refund for our tickets.
Well, so
no team would ever come out and
nobody would do that.
My point. That's my point.
So Krista Locke said, hold on. Krista Locke said the punishment shall not be fined more than $10,000 or in prison not more than 1 year or both. So look, the punishment according to the law is still not that severe. So two things we're going to get out of this. Number one, Ross will probably never see the day. He'll never see the inside of a jail cell. That's never going to happen.
You never know, Stephen D. Everybody.
He'll never see that.
Everybody's convicting Watson. Why not be convicting Ross? Everybody's locked him up.
I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would bet he would never.
There are levels.
He'll never see the inside of a jail cell. Number two,
they have a target in their back.
He's going to be framed. He's going to be framed as the next Bernie Madoff. Watch what I tell you.
No way. Let me bring in the Fins tailgate. Let me bring in El Capitan. What's up, man?
What up?
Cap.
Yeah.
El Capitan. What's going on?
Working man, Capitan.
Going orange out today. Must be cold up in them parts.
Let me finish.
That's unacceptable, man. You don't have on a purple jacket, man. That's unacceptable.
Listen, I walk around with that purple jacket. I got to carry a gun with me. You know what I'm saying? Guys think that they can mess around. I ain't got to walk around brandishing a weapon. I ain't going to do all that. So,
but you do not want to wear the purple jacket? Why do you not want to wear the purple jacket?
Level 2 Noob says, no money exchanged hands. Ross isn't losing the team. We will lose multiple draft picks, likely ones, and he'll be fined a few $1 million.
So, Steven, I think that the NFL totally wants this to happen. Not so much an owner getting outed in this way, but the federal government becoming involved with the NFL. And this is going to play out. And I've been saying this for weeks, that they would love nothing more than a federal government action team looking into everywhere, kind of like how casinos do, a federal agent at the building, giving the rubber stamp of approval that now NFL games are legitimized through the federal government. Yep. And now betting is federally A-OK. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
like THX certification.
That's right. It's essentially where then, like, hey, listen, it's not you can't get medical marijuana in your state, but it is federally decriminalized. Same exact thing. So,
No, I think you bring up a very interesting point. I think let me finish my previous statement and then go into that a little bit. I said he'll never see the inside of a jail cell, is my personal opinion. Number two, I think as far as any federal problems coming to him, I don't think there'll be anything more than a $10,000 fine max based on what the punishment is to the law and probation. The other thing I think from the NFL standpoint is level 2 noob stating, hey, look, he's not going to lose the team. We'll lose multiple draft picks. If there is any shred of evidence, we are going to lose the owner. We're going to lose draft picks, and we're going to be fined millions of dollars. All three of those things will happen because you can't have one without the other. You can't say, hey, here's evidence of you tanking games on purpose and still keep the owner. It can't happen.
The only pushback I'd give on that is the draft picks, Stephen D, because if the act never actually happened because of the integrity of Brian Flores, then did we really commit anything that requires the team to lose draft picks?
So here's your precedent for that. Spygate.
So
Spygate and Deflategate, or Spygate lost draft picks, right? And did Deflategate lose draft picks?
Yeah, but again,
they did.
Those acts were actually committed, is what I'm saying.
And those directly affected the results of a game.
So this did too.
No, Flores didn't take the money.
It's like if let's say if somebody tried to come sell me drugs and I said no and went to the police, they're not gonna punish me for somebody asking me if I wanted to buy drugs. I didn't actually do it. If I would have bought the drugs and then took them to the police and said, hey, look what this guy just sold me, I would be in possession and I would be guilty just as much as the other guy.
Flip side, Fishton said that was things members of the team did, not the owner. So, I hear you. So you know what?
Again, the act was actually committed.
I'll concede. I will concede to the fact that maybe there's no draft picks. But in my gut opinion, my gut feeling, that if there's any evidence that is found to be true, Ross is gone. There'll be draft picks and there'll be fines. All three things will happen.
I have a feeling they're going to take draft picks from us. Conspiracy theory here that, yes, they're going to take draft picks from us, but it's not so much for what Ross did or didn't do, because I think as this plays out, the evidence would become inconclusive, because even if they have him on tape saying it, it's all about, first of all, I don't think Ross came out with like, hey, I'll give you $100,000. He probably was smart enough to make sure there was people in the room when he said it and did it jokingly, because let's face it, he's a gajillionaire. He knows how business works.
No, I personally don't think anybody was in the room, Chris.
Well, even if there was, I'm just saying, he would have always done it. He would have.
Somebody could be carrying a smartphone with the record button.
Right. He would have always done
that would have been Flores.
In a joking manner, like
what Chris is trying to say is that, like, he might have been sitting around the room and just saying, hey, it'd be really nice if somebody would take $100,000 from me for losing games,
That's right. But also,
you know what I mean?
No, that's called mob speak, Cutler. They talking innuendos, but they'll definitely take it as fact that that's what he meant.
Technical speak, you know what I mean?
That's how it works. But also that the draft picks that they're going to take from us aren't so much about this incident. It's more about the collusion that the Dolphins had, robbing the Texans and colluding to get their quarterback. I bet you, and they don't want that to come out, because I always felt that when the owner of the Texans died and his son took over, that the Dolphins came in, fleeced them, and then tried to rob them, and the other owners didn't like it. So I bet you that there's a little bit of, now this is just conspiracy. I have no evidence to have this.
I mean, look, that's fine. This is conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory Tuesday.
Crazy.
You're right. Let's just talk about it all. Let's put it all on the table.
Well,
but now, Chris,
full conspiracy, then the NFL wants him out because of his ties to who.
Nah, they don't want any of their owners thrown out by the owners, because
and here's the thing: the owners don't want that color, because once there's precedent set, then they know that the spotlight could be looked down the road.
And plus, too, if you think about it, with the 700,000 emails, they know they have something on each other.
Joe Lee, 100%. There is nothing that nobody can tell me otherwise to say that there's not more damning evidence against the
there's
league
way worse stuff in
and those
those.
700,000 emails than what Gruden said. I guarantee you. But I don't think it'll ever see the light of day.
So hey,
I
Jolie.
don't think
Jolie, I got
Gruden
a question
signs
for
that
you, Jolie.
contract without them having those emails. I think that was like an outlier to it. They had to hand over some blackmail to him to sign that $100 million contract.
Right.
Just so
right.
a little bit of leverage of control.
And hey,
you know,
Jolie,
a
I got a question.
buy-in, not a sell out.
Do you think that the owners are more likely to try to vote to keep him to cover up what they might be doing, or do you think that they would vote him out in order to take the eyes off of them?
See, this is the thing when it comes to this particular situation, they all know they've all done something. We know this, they know
Right.
this.
That's the nature of my
problem
question.
is,
Exactly.
because this came out to light the way it did, it calls into question every other quote unquote not tank, but they really did tank. So they don't want to get linked with that.
So do you
the
think they
problem
turn
is,
their backs to him, or do you think they embrace it to try to cover it up further?
honestly, what I would want is for them to oust it, but what I think will happen is actually they're gonna cover it up because
I think they'll play. I
cover
think
it up for themselves.
Jolie, I think they'll play stupid because covering it up implicates them, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to stick their necks out
But
for
my
him.
thing is, they're probably not going to use all of the information that they have, or they will be very selective in what they present to everybody.
Remember what we're talking about here, guys. The company is investigating itself.
Right.
Okay. It is literally they're making their own argument.
It's like GM
about
investigating
themselves.
Saturn.
It's just not. It'll always fall on deaf ears in that way. So it's a controlled opposition, and because they have it and they're the opposition, the narrative will always come out the way they want it to. And I'm telling you, when this is all said and done, Ross ain't gonna probably go nowhere, and they'll take away some of those picks that are capital that we essentially stole from another team, and all is right in the owner world.
But let me add to this real quick. Let me add to it. I actually think they might not directly take him out, but what they will do privately, those other owners, is tell him, listen, the cat's out of the bag. You need to sell. They're not gonna force him, but they're gonna slightly.
They're not gonna. You think they're publicly not gonna force him?
And that gets back to what I think that the article is about. That just came out is they're trying to raise that flag up the flagpole. You know what I mean?
And Chris Delacca says if they have a closed door meeting and force Ross, it looks even worse.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Now you're talking about the black hand pushing him out and stuff like that.
He's gonna voluntarily sell the team, but they're gonna essentially make him voluntarily sell the team.
So that means they're gonna basically say, like, publicly, hey, we're not gonna do anything, but behind closed doors, there's conversation. Like I see both sides. I see Chris Delacus' side to say
they're gonna make him an offer. They're gonna make him an offer.
They can't refuse. Look, I get it. You know, here's this whole situation has levels to it, right? And my thing to it is 2 weeks ago when Chris and Chris has been saying it more than me on his channel, making a big fuss that Ross needs to sell the team, he needs to go. We were kind of getting flack for it. There was nobody really hopping on board with this.
Oh, I was all on board.
The moment Ian Rappaport drops the bomb this weekend, now everybody's like, "Oh, wow, there's
now the debate is league wide." Exactly.
Now we could talk about it.
It's not just the Dolphin fans having the debate; it's everybody now.
I'm telling you, and I've said this from the beginning, guys. You can go back and look at the receipts. Go back and look at prior Clock Blocker shows. Ross will not be the owner of this team by 2024 at the latest.
I think it's just sped up that timetable, but this is my issue. I want them to go ahead and force him to do it, but I think what he will do okay, you're making me sell the team, fine, but now I'm gonna make you take whatever little deal I have with this other person, the little succession plan or whatever, and then that way he still comes out.
So two things to that. I'm glad you brought that up. So that's my big. If the NFL comes out and says Ross, you have to sell the team, like publicly, not a behind the doors. You need to sell the team. A public saying, "Hey, look, you're in trouble. Here's the evidence. You got to sell." Then I think they should rip up the secession plan.
Agreed.
It should not be validated.
Agreed.
That'll
shouldn't.
be an
And the thing
arbitration
is-
for the rest of time.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the problem is, if they do publicly, they should go ahead and rip it off. But if they do it behind closed doors, sorry, Steve, if they do it behind closed door, I think they'll go ahead and accept that stupid contract.
And Jorge Ochea says, "Hey, Steven, you guys keep repeating the same thing, but could you direct me to find a reliable source to hold that evidence?" No, we can't. This is all hearsay.
We do know this, though. We do know that the NFL is not the court of law. The NFL can do whatever they want based on hearsay, circumstantial evidence, whatever they want.
Exactly.
Again, they govern themselves, so they can do whatever they want.
That's the way they've been operating since the beginning of time.
Yep.
Hey, real quick, let me bring on Chris Delakis because he's a lawyer. What's up, Chris Delakis? How are you, man?
I'm not a lawyer yet. I'm taking the bar next week.
You're taking the bar next week.
Oh, I knew there was something off about you, Chris Delakis.
Hey, man, so I want to get your thoughts on this, Chris Delakis.
Good luck on the bar, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks,
good luck.
thanks.
Yeah, good luck.
Sometimes you eat the bar, and sometimes the bar eats you.
Yep.
Go ahead, Chris Delakis. The floor is yours, man. What are your thoughts on all this?
So let me just take off my Bluetooth because it's killing me right now. Hold on.
By the way, if
Can you hear me now?
Don't prepare you for the court of law. I don't know what does.
I got you. Go ahead, Chris.
All right. So really quickly, there's multiple layers with this whole thing because the whole thing was started because Flores put it in his complaint against the NFL. So whatever they do, they have to act very, very closely because it all is premeditated on Flores' complaint. If they do anything, and it later comes, like, say Ross gives it up voluntarily, or say they force Ross out, whatever it is, and then later on Flores in his complaint provides evidence through deposition testimony of other witnesses that were there at the time, or audio recordings, then it looks even worse for the NFL. So whatever they do, they have to do two things. One, they're going to have to settle with Flores, and two, which they're most likely going to do anyway, and two, they're going to have to do it in a way that shows that they conducted a proper investigation. They found nothing, but because of everything, Ross still had to sell the team. That's how I would play it if I was the NFL.
Now, what if there is evidence, Chris Delakis? What if evidence comes out?
I'm getting hella feedback right now. If there is evidence that comes out, I mean, it just goes to Flores' complaint. It's a civil complaint. It depends on what the evidence is. I read the law in detail. I mean, I think Level 2 Noob said it perfectly. That there's nothing there that's, unless he took actual steps forward to commit the act, there is nothing there to hold anything against him, which is why I firmly believe that the NFL is going to come back after the investigation and say, unless money has exchanged hands, they're going to come back and say that there wasn't enough evidence to see for tampering. Or I honestly believe that he just said, "I'll give you $100,000," and Flores said no, and that's not going to be enough.
Well, what evidence could Flores produce?
Audio, unless Flores was a genius and went into a meeting with knowing what.
I think audio evidence would be more damning than audio and video evidence.
Well,
because in the video puts a little context on how he said it.
The lawyers and Flores both say that there is evidence.
Yeah, but lawyers say that. Listen, I said to you before that no lawyer would risk their license without bring this sort of claim against the NFL without having evidence. This one's, I mean, if you have a witness that says, yes, I was in the room, but you don't have so a witness might have been there, but now you have to have the witness come to court and corroborate Flores' testimony. And
not only that, you got to think about the bias of the witness as well.
You have the bias of the witness.
Are they an employee of Ross?
But also, witnesses bounce on subpoena depositions all the time.
Right, and the bias is actually
they really
anyway.
They're not going to go to jail if they want to skip. You know, they could just plead the fifth if they wanted to.
Hey, Chris Delakis, is hella a legal term?
I use it. all the time. Lifelines. You gotta be hella
Lawyer-
stupid not to take that settlement.
What does he say on how? What does he say on How I Met Your Mother? Lawyered.
Yeah.
Look, this is what I think. I think that the Ian Rappaport, Ian Rappaport's report, I think sheds light that there is substance to what's going to go down. And I don't think Ian Rappaport would have stated that during Super Bowl week if there wasn't some legs to it.
You know,
Super Bowl week already has enough.
Well,
stuff.
what does Super Bowl week have that no other week has?
Yeah, but Steven,
Normie fans
and I've only recently started thinking this. You know, Rappaport coming out and doing that. First of all, it was in the dead of night. Number one. Number two, him coming out kind of signals to the legality of the whole thing that, hey, we're taking it seriously. Kind of goes out there and he righted all the wrongs of the NFL, just saying no to nothing. Right. And really it comes down to not so much the collusion that they said that to, was about systematic racism. We're kind of tying the two, because you got to remember there's two kind of lawsuits here.
There's multiple lawsuits in this class action.
That's right. So in the systematic racism of it, to say that there's nothing ever is, I mean, that looks racist to say that. You know what I'm saying? Now you're not listening to the...
Flores is going to have evidence. Yeah, Flores is definitely going to have evidence with regards to the race, the whole thing. I'm telling you first and foremost, which is the majority of his complaint anyway. He just threw the Ross thing in there as a caveat to the whole thing. And the Ross thing, I don't see holding up water. I see that being settled. I mean, you could see. I mean, listen, the NFL could easily settle this, but the whole thing is that Flores made this a class action lawsuit. And with making it a class action lawsuit, if you have other plaintiffs that come on board, say you get 50 other plaintiffs around the league that come on board, right? Eventually, you're going to have to select a class representative to represent all the plaintiffs. And that class representative is going to have to make the final decision, which most likely is going to be Ross, whether or not to take the settlement or to go to trial. I mean, the lawyers can say, listen, take the settlement. But at the end of the day, it's up to the plaintiff whether he wants to go to trial or anything. So if Flores is this Rosa Parks that the lawyers are really, calling him, I take this all the way to trial. The only problem is I know some of these lawyers, and I'm telling you, they do not have the resources to go against the NFL. They're going to hit them with discovery demands left and right. It's going to be an ongoing process. And
they can tie them up in litigation.
If you wanted to bankrupt a law firm, this is how you do it. I mean, that's how they made movies about situations.
Yeah, but John, isn't it more about the public perception than anything? And when you start talking about civil action stuff like racism and stuff like that, the public response alone can push a big company like that around.
If I was
all
the lawyers,
they got is their public image, brother.
Listen, I don't know what skeletons the NFL has in their closets. I would not want.
They have skeletons, though.
Every skeleton imaginable.
I wouldn't want one. Listen, if I had damaging evidence against me, there's no way I'm holding a deposition. I try and settle it before the depositions.
Real quick, let me just interrupt on that. So the movie with Will Smith that came out, Concussion, there, which was based on a true story. There's a scene in there that I believe is truly accurate, and that is you see the lawyer get in there, and he's like, "You are going against a company that owns their own day of the week. They own Sunday. They own their own day of the week." And so when you are going up against a public entity as strong as the NFL is, as big as the NFL is, you have to understand, and Krista Lockus hit the nail on the head, they can take this any route they want to go. There's two things that are going to be the big outcome of this. Public perception, because the NFL could get, they could take this any way they want and the money is going to be there, but I don't think the public perception would look good on them, which is why I don't think that's particularly the route they would go. And I also think what I don't want to see from either standpoint, from the systematic racism, I don't want to see a Band-Aid look, right? Like I want to see some real changes. I don't want to see a Rooney Rule. Tell me how you're going to fix things. Like I need to see a board. Give me something that's going to make some real changes. And number three, the other thing that I'll see about this is there are different lawsuits within this class action. But I think the thing that's going to get the most public outcry, believe it or not, is not going to be the racism. It's going to be the Stephen Ross situation. I said the day that this broke that will get more coverage than the racism part of the class action. Right or wrong?
If I was the NFL, I would gear it towards the money aspect, the tampering of games aspect to avoid the biggest public perception of the racism aspect of it. But nonetheless, you're right. You hit the nail on the head. Back at you. You cannot have this.
I'm out of here, boys. I'll see you guys later.
Take
Go
it
ahead,
easy, bro.
Chris.
You cannot have this in front of a jury. There's a reason why high-profile cases, just like the Floyd case, that was a civil case, why it settled before it even got close to discovery, because you can't have those type of cases go that far because of the public perception. And the public perception in this case is very, very bad for the NFL. Now, that
100%.
being said, the NFL is going to throw all their lawyers at this, like I said to you before, is going to hit them with motions left and right. I mean, there's going to be motions on every witness that's involved, and every piece of evidence that's involved. Say if Flores even has an audio recording, they're going to have to determine whether or not that audio recording is going to be admissible.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with the OJ trial. I mean, that's what Cochran did.
But if they deem it as not admissible, there's still the court of public perception on this, Christolakis, and that's going to play a part into our situation.
I think they're
with
playing
Stephen
both
Ross.
of those, Stephen D. I think they're trying to manipulate both sides of that. If they go full, if they go full boat in the lawsuit, then they know they're going to get a lot of reward with the public eye.
They cannot even get this. They cannot even get to discovery with this case. There's too many out. I mean, that's the whole thing. That's another aspect of it. Again, it's a class action lawsuit. They open this up to other plaintiffs. So if other plaintiffs jump on board, they also have the right to, that's why there's 30 John Does listed, because they listed all those John Does for the other plaintiffs wanting to make accusations against the other teams. Flores just had the accusations against the Denver Broncos, the Miami Dolphins, the New York Giants, and I think he added the Houston Texans to
the Houston Texans were added. Yep,
right.
100%.
But he left the other John Does for the NFL teams for any other plaintiffs to come on board and say, hey, the Chargers did me wrong, the Jaguars did me wrong, whatever it is, just for other plaintiffs to come on board. And if that happens, then it's a problem. It's gonna be
one of the things that and I want to invite Cap for Life and Andravius. Good morning, fellas. I think the other thing that will be very interesting from this standpoint is to see how many people join on to the class action, because we all think that there's going to be a blackball to Flores, and I would have to think anybody that joins this case will also be blackballed. Is that not something that plays into an effect if somebody who wants to coach and be an NFL coach is going to be like, well, I don't know if I want to join this?
Yeah.
It's either money or coaching. That's literally it. Do you want to coach? Then you don't get in.
Here's the thing. Plaintiffs could be any depending upon the statute of limitations, because there is a statute of limitations on this. They could already be done with the NFL. They could already be retired, and they could already say, listen, I have, I'm not looking for another head coaching job. Might as well throw my hat in the ring and say, yeah, they forced me to do this, or I was discriminated against, without having any repercussions of being blackballed in my future because I'm already a retired coach. Right. So that's something else to think about.
Retired coaches can get on board. Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Cap for Life, Montravius, what's going on, fellas?
Good morning. Good morning.
What's up?
Morning, guys.
Just want to get your thoughts on anything we talked about this morning.
Yeah, it's a good point, because you guys are bringing up something like the similarity to John Gruden. I mean, nobody's really touched John Gruden ever since he just jumped ship and got away from the Raiders, and nobody's really touched him because he's not really coaching. But I feel like the situation with Houston, with Bob McNair, that's where it originally started, with all the drama and everything with all these owners. But for Dan Snyder to not have any problems yet, Bob McNair to not have any problems yet, the Raiders didn't even get any drama whatsoever because Gruden left, but they got away with a conspiracy of their own of racism and, documented emails. So let's say that these three teams got together and collaborated against Ross. I wouldn't see that far-fetched at all, because they want the drama and the weight off of them.
Well,
So if I think there's going to be an example child, it might be us.
There's no team that's going to be an outlier and say, you know what, we're with Brian Flores. Everyone's going to collaborate together. They have to, for the sake of the NFL, for the sake of the logo. They have to do that. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, but if they're giving them 75% of ownership that has to vote somebody out, that's an option.
Are you talking about Ross or are you talking about Flores?
The NFL in general, like if they wanted to push this narrative towards Ross and not towards Flores, they have the writing there saying that the owners can vote him out if necessary, like the NBA. So there is an option.
They would need 75% of the owners.
And I'm telling you right now, they would get it if there's any real evidence that comes out. If there's any evidence,
but the thing is, it's not going to come out, Steven, because they know if that evidence actually comes out, then every team is going to be under scrutiny.
No, not every. Two things. Let's get something straight. Everything is already under scrutiny. Like that. That's happening. And the and the average fan. Forget the diehards like us. The average fan knows that there's cover-ups that happen in the NFL.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. So with all of that being said, we have to understand that look, I can say this till I turn blue. Stephen Ross will not be the owner of the Miami Dolphins by the time 2024 season hits. So I think he's got this season and you got next season. And I think that you'll see a change of ownership in that time period.
So that gets back to the original question, which was why I came in the first place. And that, yes, that does make Mike McDaniel a one and done.
Oh, yeah, I think
so. I'll do you one.
When you get new ownership, you're going to get everybody new. They're going to get rid of the janitor.
You guys remember the Mike McDaniel press conference where Ross introduced him, right?
Yep.
You guys remember how Stephen Ross was so unprepared for that press conference?
It was horrible. My God.
They looked rushed. They hugged him so fast it wasn't even funny.
What if he knows he's selling the team and that's why he doesn't care? And that's why he was like, I'm not preparing a speech. I'm not doing anything, whatever it is.
He could have known before
deep down inside, he knew he wasn't going to be a part
Ross
of
has to know. But I just want to say, I said all of this during, and I got killed for it.
You know how it is to be the pioneer, Stephen D.
But it kills me that now people are like, you know what? That's a good point. Buddy, I said this a week and a half ago.
He's going to have to.
I said this 2 weeks ago.
I've been saying this since he built the facility. He wants to cash out on his investment. He's been here for 4 years.
As a famous man once said, you know, you make statements and then that's what elections are for.
God, man, it really makes me upset. It really makes me upset because I truly think that, let's get something straight. Now here's the thing. Do I have a problem with Ross doing what he did?
You better say yes to that statement.
I do. Here's the thing I want to say.
Well, I started the Never Tank hashtag, so you know
what I will say about Flores or about Ross is Ross tried everything that he could do to turn this team around, good or bad. And as an owner, I want my owner to be able to say, hey, look, you've done everything within your power to try to make this a winning franchise. Now, with that being said, he's picked the wrong people. He's made the wrong decisions. He's made decision after they've all been the wrong and bad decisions. There's only 2 or 3 good things that have come of Ross's tenure as ownership. The stadium, because the stadium is gorgeous. Let's just get that straight. I love the stadium.
Bring back the orange seats.
I think that's what I personally like the way the stadium looks. I think it's beautiful. I think there's a really good setup there. Yeah.
They need to take out the 72 club.
The training facility I think is great. Our player, you heard it. It looks like an SEC. It looks like a college football training facility, which I think is still hilarious that was said. And then the third thing that I think Ross has done a good job of is I think he's done a good job of trying to put the Dolphins into the world of marketing. Like he's big on things like look at Travis Wingfield and the podcasting side of it. And I think he's more of a pioneer from that standpoint than other owners of the league are. And so he's embracing that more.
So, Steven, I don't mean to cut you off, but there's an expression. It's called being house broke. You own a home, but you have nothing to put inside your home. And that's the perfect example of Stephen Ross, because this man has done everything to make the Dolphins look good on the outside. But inside, we're a crumbling organization.
Bingo.
And that's the problem.
He's done a great
Stephen
job
Ross.
at
when you
convincing the
hold on,
fans
when
that
you are
we're something
catering,
we're not.
when you are catering to the likes of Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony and other celebrity endorsements, and not realizing what it really means to put a team together, then you have to leave the team for the sake of being a fan, for the sake of being an owner, because we haven't had a winning playoff game in the past 25 years. And if you think the fans care about cosmetics and how the stadium looks and that we have a player facility, then I'm sorry, you're on the wrong side of this, because that's not what the players want. We don't care if our stadium looks like the Washington Commanders stadium at this point, if it only meant us winning a playoff game, or a Super Bowl. We don't care about those things. And Ross, for the past 20 plus years, has catered to those celebrity endorsements, has catered to those cosmetics, and that's not what the fan wants. So he has
no matter what he's done, John, and no matter what he's done to make that look good, John, the South Florida beaches still look better to people.
Listen, and another thing too, just to add on to that, he wants to make this team what the LA Rams are, with all those celebrities and all this bouginess. I'm sorry, sir, but this is working class America. This is blue collar folk. Nobody is out here trying to spend $23,000 on a ticket. Like, I'm not understanding why he wants to make this place so super.
So I'm going to answer that, Jolie. South Beach is a party. Miami's a party. Miami is a party atmosphere, and that's what he wants there. Now, what I will say to that is this: what I want as a fan, I want the Orange Bowl back. I want that atmosphere that the Orange Bowl had. But I think part of having the atmosphere of an Orange Bowl is 2 or 3 things. Number one, great product on the field, which we haven't had. Okay. Number 2, having a majority field crowd that are Dolphin fans, which we haven't had because of the product on the field. And number 3, your good seats are being catered to fans that have $100,000. The seats that are right behind the home team sidelines, that little 72 club section, those $100,000 seats
sucks.
For a Jets game.
That's where your diehard fans should be. That's where your noise should be coming from.
Or the end zones too. I mean, look at the end zones. We have these random seats where you go to other teams, and they're literally like 3 feet away from the uprights. Like they're right there. Like the fans are right there with their team, and that also adds to the winning culture too, because the players feed off of that.
I'll say that.
Oh my God, our fans are here with us.
Jolie, I will say this: when I was there for the Miami Miracle, I would say that stadium was 70% filled with Dolphins fans that day. And I would say out of that 70%, maybe 20% had left. So let's say that stadium was 50% filled with 7 seconds left. And if you could feel that stadium at 50% Dolphin fans, how loud it was, how the ground shook. I've never heard that stadium louder. I've never felt that stadium shake more than the Miami Miracle. And that was at 50% of fan capacity. And I might be wrong on that. That's just what I think.
Back in the day, that used to be a Monday night. That used to be a regular Monday night football game.
I was about to say that. So Cameron, I remember Cameron telling me one time we were talking, and this was a couple of years ago. He's told me, he's like, dude, a primetime game at the Orange Bowl shook more than the Miami Miracle did. Was louder than the Miami Miracle was.
On third down. Yep, third down on a regular Monday night. That used to be how it was, man.
But that's the problem. There is no more fan experience. There is no more fan experience. The fans are already paying high prices, but add on to that, we get no fan experience. I mean, Dolphins said it in the middle of the season. Yep. It's something that we're missing, and until we have that connection,
it's called winning.
Winning
cures all, Jolie.
They sound the foghorn on third down, and it quiets the crowd.
If it was all about winning, then tell me how the Cleveland Browns, who have sucked for 100 years, have always sold out. So it's not always.
Let me answer.
No,
Please
no, no,
call
no,
on me.
no, no,
Please
no,
pick me.
no.
Pick me. I
Because
got your
it's not
answer.
just all about winning.
I got your answer, Jolie.
Go ahead,
Please.
Steve.
Dedication.
Go
There
ahead.
is nothing else to do on Cleveland except
I
go
was
to a
just
game.
gonna say that. Yeah,
There's nothing else to do in Cleveland except go to a
it
stupid
goes
Browns
back
game.
to what's
They're
that
not
movie?
loyal,
What's that
Jolie.
movie?
They're
Trainwreck.
bored. They're
Where
fucking
what's his
bored.
name? LeBron was saying,
Swear
he's like, why
jar.
don't you ever come?
He's
Why
right.
don't you ever come to
There ain't
Cleveland?
nothing else to do in
I
Cleveland.
just won't let the foolishness fly. They're
Andreas,
bored in Cleveland.
that's to my point about the South Florida
I
beaches.
tell you, Andreas, Cleveland is a booming city. It's a bustling city.
It's something, but it's boring. Like there is nothing like on a Sunday. Do you know why Detroit, Cleveland, Green Bay, it's cold in the winter. There is nothing else to do on a Sunday afternoon except go to a game.
I get it. We're spoiled down here. We're spoiled.
We are spoiled.
I can
Guess
go
what?
to the beach in December.
got your
I can go to the
beaches,
goddamn beach in
you
December.
got
That's what I'm
Disney
saying,
World, you
Andreas.
got
Our
Universal
beaches look too
Studios, you
good
got
for the Dolphins to
everything in
suck this
Florida.
bad.
You guys really think they want to go see the Miami Dolphins get blown out by the Buffalo Bills?
Nope. I'd rather be on
Right.
the average fan. The average fan. I would.
But Steven, you're telling me if the fan experience was better, people wouldn't be there even if we were not as good. If the fan experience was better, people would still be
It's
there.
the eye test, Jolie. Even if we're losing, if we look good losing, fans would show up.
If we suck, we're not gonna go. I'm just sorry to tell you that.
That's
We
what I'm
suck.
saying. But if we look like we're a contender and we're losing, that's different. People will still show up for that. But if we know right off the bat that our product is just crap, then nobody's going to go. They'd rather go to the beach. They'd rather go to the Sawgrass Mills Mall or
What is
whatever.
looking like a contender but still sucking?
Right. And there's another thing too, is that, you go after a game, you ride up north to the first plaza. It's like Pompano Beach Service Plaza. And you go to get a coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, and everybody in the building has a Patriots jersey on. It's like,
Listen,
come on,
first of
people.
all,
You're
everybody
standing in the
knows you.
bathroom.
All right,
taking
I gotta go,
pictures.
guys.
There's like
Have a good one.
50
All right,
Patriot
Crystal.
fans
Love
around.
you, brother. Be good.
Bye, John. Everybody
Right, John.
retires here, so we know we end up getting all these Jets and Patriots fans and Bill fans and whatever. But my point is not that I don't want us to win. So please don't get that twisted. I know
We
if
know, we know you. We know where you're at, Julie.
we need to win. But what I'm saying is it's also they have to also consider the fan experience. I mean, Steven, you just said it. Those seats in the 72 club, that's where
They're
all
ridiculous
of
that
us
they're
should
there.
be. That's where we should all be. Where they pan out into the videos and whatever, you know how they always do in the games, and they're like, "Oh, the crowd." Like that's how it should be in that section because that's where
I have no problem with those seats in the club level. You want to put those in the club level, so be it. You want
Agreed.
to put a whole sideline of club level seats that are like that, so be it. Let them pay $100,000 for those seats.
Instead of Stephen Ross paying $100,000 to lose, he should be paying fans $1,000 to show up.
Thank you.
Agreed. Or
he
he should just get rid of those
should be buying the fans.
No, Crypto. I want to argue that a little bit with you, and here's why. This is just me. I don't go to the games anymore for the Dolphins. I go to the games because of the people I get to see at the tailgate and hang out with at the game. I hated the fact that we got blew out that week 2 against Buffalo.
I go for the Patriot block party.
It sucks. It sucked. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and didn't tell you I had a great time that day at the tailgate and hanging out with the people. Like, don't get me wrong, walking out of that stadium was very deflating. It was anticlimactic, but I had a great day otherwise. I got to hang out with my Finns family that day. That was a fun, up until the game, great day.
Steven, that was the day you lost your franchise quarterback, Steven. That's why you was down.
I got you. I understand.
That's why you was down. You was gloomy that day. You lost your franchise quarterback that day.
But the fact of the matter is, I don't go back week after week because of the team. I go back week after week because of you all, because of the fans, because of the experience that I have out in the parking lot, because of the tailgate. That's why I go back. It is a family. And that is the, like, for example, Andrevius, you went to a game, right? You went to a game this year.
I went to 4. Don't try me.
And was the tailgate not the best experience of the game?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't go to the tailgates.
All right, somebody who went to the tailgate.
Just walked straight in the building, sat down,
I
and
got a
bought a
question
beer.
for you. Since you hang out at all the tailgates, how does it feel when the game's over and you can hear more sound coming out of the stadium from the Patriot fans celebrating than you can on third down when the game's going on?
It sucks, but that's the reality of being a Dolphins fan in South Florida and going to the game right now.
Like, I can hear it all the way out in Yellow parking, man. You know, I'm getting in my car and they're still roaring in the stadium, all Patriot fans.
Argument when we win games, like the tunnel, the little circly things on the way out is fucking loud as shit.
Yeah.
Hey man, square jar.
They go crazy.
Now, what I will say, Chef Ju says, that's right, Stephen D. I was there. Tailgates are lit. I'm telling you. So, what do y'all think the biggest game of the year, biggest win of the year was? I think it was the Ravens game.
Go to the
Ravens
game. You know what? You can take that. You can take your misery and suck it too, man.
All right, there's two things about that Ravens game that stands out, y'all. Two things.
That's all I see about that guy is miserable.
Number one, there were way more Ravens fans there than there were Dolphins fans. I mean, it was minimum 60% Ravens fans there that night. Number two, with that being the biggest game of the year and our biggest win, it wasn't that raucous. It was a Thursday night game. It was prime time. I was in the deep end. It was crazy. It was great. NFL Network. I'm sitting there jabbing with Steve Smith in the fourth quarter, going back and forth, hanging out with Andrew Siciliano, getting pictures with him. Like, it was crazy. It was a great night. But I look back on it and I'm like, you know what? It wasn't like it wasn't a great atmosphere for a game. The whole atmosphere. The crowd was into it, but it wasn't crazy. You know, and so and as we're winning, I'm going to the games, and you go to the Jets game, and the Jets game I felt like should have been crazy. Wasn't.
Yeah, and careful misgendering people, McGodavaloa. We can play that game too.
Like,
listen, man. Steve is being disingenuous. When Jacoby Brissett went down and they put Tua in, the energy in the stadium was insane.
Did change.
It was insane after that.
It doesn't mean that it wasn't like as big as it should have been.
Listen,
like,
I know what you mean. It's
quiet stadium.
I'll one up and say any home game in 2018 was a better atmosphere than that Thursday night game.
The problem is we have a lot of out-of-towners. That's why. A lot of out-of-towners come here, and you're a Dolphins fan, and people get pissed. They're like, I'm not going, but I'll tailgate. And that's what you end up seeing, all these out-of-towners. It feels like every time we're home, it's an away game for us in our own stadium, which is so sad.
But that's just, don't be so negative, Jolie. That's just you being negative.
Listen, I'm not negative. Is color. You've been there, I'm sure.
Oh, I know. I was just pointing out the irony from what I'm hearing in chat that I'm just a negative person all the time.
He was trolling the chat people. All right, let me bring out some people that are waiting in the
positive. When this organization gives me something to be positive about, maybe I will be positive.
Let me bring on some people in the back room. MCJB, what's up, bro?
Good morning.
Well, you sound hungover, sir.
No, I
just look like you just got out of bed.
I did.
All right, now are your golf balls set up? Are you ready? Are you prepared?
I think so.
All right, let's see your golf balls this morning. Hi, is that your golf balls this morning?
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything.
How original, I
couldn't think of anything.
Now you go back to the drawing board and you give us a better golf ball saying this morning. I'm putting you in timeout for a minute. You go back and give us the better one. All right. Let me bring on Russell. What's up, Russell? Russell, take yourself off mute. What's up, man?
Morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
Morning.
What's up, Russell? How you doing?
Oh, just living the dream, working as per usual.
Go ahead, Russell. I know you got some things to say on your mind, all the stuff that have been done this morning.
Well, I actually caught in late on your discussion with Daniel Oyefusi. So, or is it? Oh, say it for me.
Oyefusi. Oyefusi.
Oyefusi. Okay.
Yes.
I caught the very like when he was like hopping off, so I didn't catch a lot of what you guys discussed.
Yeah, but you've been listening to this panel for the last 45 minutes.
Well, you got to understand, I live in Ohio, so even if I do see a Dolphins game, it's probably going to be at the Bengals stadium. So I can't.
You know what? Let me
this.
ask you, Cincinnati, and I guess this isn't fair because they went to the Super Bowl this year, but how is the atmosphere at a Cincinnati Bengals game? I would say it's probably majority Cincinnati. It's probably crazy because again, there ain't nothing else to do in Cincinnati except go see a Bengals game
for their stadium.
I will
with a nickname for their stadium loves their team, man.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this about the Bengals stadium. It's nothing fancy, but when it comes to the fans, they're loud.
That's why they call it the jungle.
They're jam packed. When I went to let's see, what was the last time I went? I want to say it was in 2018. We still have Ryan Tannehill. We ended up losing, even though Jakeem Grant, I think he threw a bomb to Kenny Still. I think we were in the orange, the ugly. No, that was 2016. I think it was because I've been to a couple of them, but the last time I went, essentially we were up at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came out and essentially kicked our you-know-what. So it got loud in that second half. I will say this. There was a decent majority of Dolphins fans there because there's quite a few of us up here in Ohio, as surprising as that sounds. We actually meet up at B-Dubs a lot, and we'll fill that whole B-Dubs full of Dolphins fans up here in Ohio. But as time has gone on, fans around here are starting to not come around as much, especially in terms of, going to B-Dubs and stuff like that. I'll see a couple of guys that I remember from seeing before, but most of them I haven't seen in a couple of seasons. I think the real last season everybody was hype was 2016 when we were on the verge of being in the playoff run, and then Ryan Tannehill got hurt and all that happened. But in terms of their stadium, it's loud. It's hard to compete with their fans when it comes to being loud for your team. And I will say the majority of the Bengals fans up here are relatively respectful. I will say this, though, just like any other stadium, you'll have the occasional fight. They do tend to run their mouths at times, like any other.
But I think you get that experience, Russell. I don't mean to interrupt, Russell, but I think you get that experience wherever you're at, right? Like I think, but
Yeah.
the point I'm trying to make is that visiting teams, opposing fans have a difficult time playing there because of the atmosphere that's there. And I
would agree with that because when they start getting on a roll, they get loud.
Yeah,
loud.
And there's something to be said when like that game against the Ravens, like Brissett in the beginning of the game was having to quiet the home crowd. Was like trying to get fans to be quiet because the Raven fans were being so loud on defense. And there's something to be said of having that home field advantage, Would you guys not agree?
I
absolutely. And if I would say something about the Ravens game, it was actually quite refreshing that as the game went on and our defense was shutting Lamar down, I noticed that it was a lot easier for us to out shout that Ravens block, which was kind of encouraging for the first time in a long time that I've been there like that in that atmosphere. Of course, that ended after the third series that Tua took the ball, but whatever, that's beside the point.
I will say this. I watched that game on, and the loudest experience I heard was when he came on the field.
Oh, yeah, sure. I don't disagree with that, Russell. It was like the fans were clamoring for it. I would just say that after the first series that he was in, my section at least kind of quieted down a little bit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not, it seemed like they were a little surprised and underwhelmed. Like a lot of those. This is what I go back to what I was saying about Jolie. Is a lot of fans aren't in the weeds like we are, and they just expect. They hear the crowd chanting Tua, and he's our fresh young quarterback, and they're going to go right along with it until they see what the product is with their own eyes.
So the fact of the matter is, when it comes to home field advantage, the home team's fans should never have to struggle against competing against the away fans. It should never come down to that.
See, now my negativity just rubbed off on you, Russell. Now you're being negative.
Well, I mean, I'm positive about our head coach. I like our head coach.
All right, MCJB, show us what you got, man.
I want Andrevius to guess it.
All right, Andrevius, it's on you. You're on mute, Andrevius.
Roll Tide roll.
Damn right, baby. RTR.
Well, both of you owe to the swear jar this morning. That's all I'm going to say about you.
I ain't curse. Or did I curse? Oh, shit. Oh, that time I cursed.
There you go. See, I can't. MCJB and you both owe to the swear jar. You're on both in timeout. I'll put you in timeout, MCJB. Go ahead. What were you saying? You were doing good. All right, guys. Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show. Clap Blackers. I'm your host, Stephen D. All right, guys. I had a lot of stuff go down yesterday. I want to know, what did you guys do for the Super Bowl? What did you guys do for Valentine's Day? Sorry I wasn't here yesterday. I want to apologize to you guys. I also want to say, if you haven't hit that like button already, please hit that like button. Donate to the channel. Help the channel grow.
Hey, Steven.
Yeah.
I got a perfect punishment for Stephen Ross. You want to hear it?
I'm ready.
Since he tried to incentivize Flo by giving him $100,000 per loss, I think the NFL should give him, force him to sell 10% of the team per loss. So if he loses 10 games, guess what? He loses 100% of the team. If he loses 11, he's in the hole $400 million.
I ain't mad at that.
10% of the team he has to sell per loss. So he's going to be incentivized to win.
I ain't mad at that. Hey, man, what did you do on Super Bowl Sunday? Where did you watch the game? What type of food did you have? I want to know all that. What did you guys do? What were your Super Bowl party notes?
It was old-fashioned pizza, old-fashioned chicken and pizza dips. You know, the good old stuff. Big screen. I watch it on a 120-inch screen in my house.
MCJB, what did you have, man?
Man, I had, so y'all ever had Tostitos, like the little shredded cheese put in together, like in that little bitty hole? Have you ever tried that before?
The Tostitos, got you.
No, it was the Tostitos. My mom makes this like cheese and like in the, oh well. Anyway, we had that. We also had some alcohol, beers.
Alcoholic beverages were consumed?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
And
man, I don't know if you know Squid Game, but you gotta hear his, oh my God, his story. He's in the comments somewhere. He's in a shoey. Y'all gotta hear his story.
And you can witness this shoey on the Finn's tailgate after post-game show from Sunday.
Pete said, how much has Tua made on the side from Ross? He can't be this bad. Ross paid Tua to play bad. Maybe Tua wakes up and shuts up the doubters. Blame Ross.
Pete, now that's a take.
Conspiracy theory.
That is a take. And that's why we love Pete, man. That is a take right there.
Is that why we love Pete? Are you sure that's why we love Pete?
Maybe it was Tua committing the sabotage.
Hey, I brought in Roach Tales. What's up, Roach Tales? How's it going, man?
Good, guys. How you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, just so you know, when last time you came on, people wanted a link to your channel because your channel does conspiracy theories and UFOs and all that, right?
Right.
All right. So you need before you get out of here today, a couple.
So what do
times,
I do? I put it in the private
copy the link to your YouTube channel and put it in the chat because people want to go to your channel.
Secret alien.
What's that?
And people want to know. And what's your take on everything we talked about this morning? The floor is yours.
So I missed it. I was a little hungover this morning, so I just got up and got.
Look, you and MCJB, both of y'all this morning. What's going on? Did I miss something?
Well, I smoke every night before my video when I go live.
Okay.
So and I decided to have some Guinnesses.
I guess that's what helps the conspiracy theories and UFO talks is when you're
my
high,
bad
right?
was miscomfortable.
Like I got you. That makes sense. Krista, like I said, is everyone drunk? I guess not. Go ahead, Roach man. Like what are your thoughts of this weekend stuff about Stephen Ross maybe being forced to sell the team and stuff like that?
I want him to sell the team. I like his money. I like what the money he spends on the team, but his decision making is what I don't know. I just don't approve of his decision making. And then you got his ethics. I think he lacks in the ethics department a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And which I'm sure he had to do to become a billionaire. I mean, so he's taken that cutthroat win at all costs that he uses in the business
mentality.
Yeah,
to the game. You know, the other thing that I want to add to that is he's not the first owner to do this. He's just the first owner to get caught doing this. And I think there's something to be said of that, right, Roach?
Yes. Is that the right chat I put it in? Or is that I can't put it in regular comments. It only lets me put it in the private chat.
All right, I will I'll copy and paste it and put it in there. Here we go.
And I'm also on Rumble too, if you guys got Rumble.
I don't know what Rumble is, but
you don't know what Rumble? Oh my god.
See, yep. You're gonna have to
school
look
me
on that.
I'll
look it up. Guys, this is the YouTube link to Roach's channel. If you like UFO talk, conspiracy theories, what else? Is it just UFO and conspiracy theories?
No, it's anything that while I'm sitting back watching crazy documentaries, anything, I just take notes and then I basically will give you the facts. I'll give you the facts up front, and then I go into like my drunk history type of thing. If I was to tell the story in my state of mind, how I think the story would go. So you get the fact and then you get the fiction.
That is color. That color. You love that kind of stuff, bro. What's that?
So
color walks away.
You got to be careful, though, man. You got to be careful. Hey, a lot of those channels, man, like what was it, Secure Team, and a lot of these other type of conspiracy theory sites, they get shut down real quick they get demonetized real quick by the government.
That's why I'm on Rumble. That's why everything I post on YouTube, Rumble, you link it and it automatically double post your videos over there where they can make more money. So
yeah, like the other day they had two Black Hawks accompanying a UFO up in, I think it was Arizona or whatnot. It was late at night.
Hold up now, guys! Don't demonetize my channel, okay? Don't get my channel in trouble.
But so with the Dolphins though, I am kind of interested in what Mike McDaniels is doing. I like the
coaching staff. Well, we haven't talked about that. What do you think about? I'll start with you, Roach, and then I'll go around the horn. What do you think about the coaching staff he's putting together?
I never heard of the offensive coordinator that he signed. Never heard of the guy.
He's not going to call
a bad
plays.
thing.
Yeah, McDaniel's going to be the one that's calling plays.
I'm just glad we don't have. I counted 3 offensive coordinators because I counted that guy they brought in for Tua's coach from high school.
Yeah, yep.
I counted him as a third, but I'm glad we got one.
Well, there was 3 things that stuck out to me on this.
And the defensive guy, I'm happy we're staying with him.
I'm not happy with and that's kind of where the conspiracy theory talk this morning. I personally believe Greer and Ross told Coach McDaniel, we're going to bring you on, but you're going to retain the defensive staff for the most part.
Oh,
and,
so you think
I'm gonna push back on that in a minute.
That doesn't match your other theory that they don't care because they're getting rid of him after a year anyways because Ross gonna have to sell the team and rebuild everything anyway.
I want somebody to
Those are
explain
counteracting
to me.
theories.
Oh, that's fine. You know what? But here, explain to me, Andrevius or Color, whoever, why is it prevalent to keep Boyer on? Like it does not make sense to me.
Can I go? Let me go ahead and
go
talk
ahead,
about
Jolie.
it. Thank you. So first of all, I just want to shameless plug. I actually have a video on this on my channel, Miss Fins. Go ahead and watch it, subscribe, like. Thank you. But actually, the reason why I do like them keeping Boyer is because of consistency. If you look at it with our defense, they're very young. Granted, I wish we would have kept Gerard, obviously Alexander, but because our secondary is super amazing. But I like it because at this point, it gives, if you think about it, it's actually less work for Mike McDaniels to keep the defense the same versus actually bringing in a whole new staff. Now he doesn't really have to worry about the defense because there's already people there that have been there in that system. He probably will just plug and play and obviously still keep his fingers in there, but overall, he won't have to really focus on the defense and really put all his energy in the offense. And by doing that, it gives continuity for our defense. It gives continuity for these young players that we have. And we're able to have that foundation and keep it for this new year coming. If
And
you
to that point,
completely change everything, then you're just doing a whole new rebuild. And that's when you get messed up with the players because now they won't have that consistency.
and to that
That's
point, McDaniel
are we
explicitly stated that he was really impressed with our defense and believed in the scheme we're running. So he doesn't want to upset the apple cart, and I get that. I'll also answer Stephen D's question with Mike McDaniel's words, and I'll quote: "You believe in somebody until they give you reason not to." And he was actually speaking on Tua when he said that, but it still applies. He fundamentally believe, like, that's his principle. You believe in somebody until they give you reason not to.
Color, let me ask you a question then. Would it not be fair? Is it fair to say then that Boyer is on a 1-year leash? That if he doesn't
of course. I think anybody that's a holdover is always on a 1-year leash.
And would you say that is if Ross is forced to sell the team, I'm just saying that McDaniel could be on a 1-year leash?
Well, absolutely, because it goes back to the overall principle of if we get a new owner, it's not like getting a new GM or a new head coach where the locker room gets cleaned out and all that. We get a new owner and the janitor gets changed out. I mean, the entire building gets replaced. So I mean, imagine if you took ownership of a used car and somebody's got their seat covers and their mirror doily or whatever. You're not going to keep all that in there. You might not even keep the same color of the car.
So caller, do you think that do you think they didn't try to get another defensive coordinator and they just went with McDaniels, or do you think they tried and then they
I think they tried,
said no?
Nobody wanted to come here, man. We settled. We settled. Come on, guys.
Like specific thing, they just figured, well, might as well just.
I'll say this: I do think they went
settled.
after Fangio. I think they went after Fangio, but I don't.
And I agree. I agree that we settled, but what I'm saying, what we settled for, is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, we just settled for continuity.
Essentially, yeah. And if you think about it, with Vic Fangio, it looks like he's taking off this entire year. And plus, we're too hot. We're still too hot. I don't see why a coach would want to go ahead and come here in a team that we don't know if we're going to have an owner. We don't even know what's going to happen with the QB. So that's also something else that they have to consider too. But with the consistency with what I was saying is our defense is great. And anybody that says that isn't, I don't know what you were watching or not, but last year and the year before, our defense has been phenomenal and it has been consistent. Granted, yes, we have 1-7, but other than that, that's why I think us keeping Boyer gives us that stability where now he has 3 years under his belt and he's able to go ahead and have the full reign of the defense. So we'll see what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, I like the move because of now we're able to give those young players that consistency and not a new playbook and not none of this.
I don't think that so let's get something straight. I don't think that we would have seen a new playbook. I don't like the move in any way, shape, or form, personally. But I also think that you guys are right. Like, we settled because we couldn't get anything better. But I think that was the plan from the beginning.
Yeah, they told us that they was willing to keep this holdover at the beginning before they even hired the coach.
Like, don't get me wrong. I think they went after Fangio. I think they wanted him. And I think if they had got him, Boyer wouldn't be here. But Mark,
what makes you think that? You contradicting yourself, Stephen.
How do you figure?
Because if they wanted to go out there, if they wanted to retain
they went after
previous coaching
Fangio.
staff from the beginning, they would have never entertained Fangio.
No, they went after Fangio because he's better. He's a sought after defensive coordinator. They went after him. He said no.
So but that would have had to happen immediately after they fired Flores because they already tried to keep the previous coaching staff.
That's probably true, but like it wasn't announced that he was retained until after Fangio turned them down.
To me, it speaks more.
No, it was for a while. It was for a while. I think once Flores left, they already said they were going to retain the whole defense. I think they did it out of spite, just to spite Flo.
It wasn't announced though till what, a day ago, 2 days ago.
No. What we're saying is that back in January, before when they were still on the head coaching search, they was talking about retaining the defensive staff for continuity.
When did they announce that Boyer would be retained as the defensive coordinator officially?
Last week.
Well, last week.
Friday, right? Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. Fangio.
Yeah, because they had to get approval from the new head coach to see if they're going to really go along with it.
Bro, I'm telling you, this is what happened. I don't have sources. I could be 100% wrong. My gut feeling is this is what happened. McDaniel in the interview process, Greer and Ross told him, hey, bro, this is what we're going to do. If we have an opportunity to upgrade a defensive coordinator, we're going to do that as a unit. But it will be, odds are that you will be forced to be, we're going to keep Josh Boyer. Like, that's going to happen. If we have an opportunity to upgrade, we will do it before we make the announcement officially. When Fangio, they make the announcement that McDaniel's the head coach on Thursday, right? Was the introductory press conference? The introductory press conference was on Thursday. You really didn't start hearing about a coaching staff till they got through the weekend. So with that being said, it was made on Friday that Boyer would be retained. But you have to think that it was official that McDaniel came on Monday or Tuesday, I think, or maybe even Sunday night. So from Sunday night to Thursday or Friday morning, there was plenty of time for phone calls to go out from Ross, Greer, McDaniel to try to upgrade the defensive coordinator position. I think there are a lot of qualified candidates more than Boyer. But what I will say is Vic Fangio passes the test when it comes to defensive coordinator. I would want him. That would be what it is. But they didn't get him. He didn't want to come here.
And if you're right.
And because of that, they retained Boyer, which was the original plan all along, unless they got somebody that was better, which Fangio would have been.
If you're right about that, Stephen D, then to me, it's more concerning about McDaniel than it is anything else. Because if they were going for Fangio, it was because they wanted an elder statesman to run the HR side of the house. And he probably said, no, I'm not interested in that. So now we're left with that void still of the concern that Mike McDaniel, is not prepared for the entire dynamics of a head coach position, which is fine. Maybe he can pick that up, but that's where we're at now. We couldn't get the elder statesman, so we settled for the continuity on defense because that is going to help McDaniel in the long run. Like now he doesn't have to
be allowed to pick his own staff.
Okay, even if we regress from championship level to above average, that's okay. I can work with that based on what I'm doing here on offense. You know what I mean?
So my question
he did say he accepted some kind of regression on defense.
I'm not saying you have to agree with my theory, but is my theory not somewhat like legit? Like it's
sound.
It's entirely.
I would only add that going after Fangio was for a different purpose than we think it was. You know what I mean? It was to get that elder statesman in the room.
I would say yes, except with the fact that they told him you're keeping Boyer. I don't agree with that part. I don't think that was part of it. But
you don't think that was talked about? No way. Yes, it was.
No, I'm not saying that it wasn't talked about. I'm saying that it wasn't forced. Because if you look at it, he's still making his own choices.
So
as far as the staff.
So Jolie, and I'm going to bring Bon Joe into the mix here. But Jolie, answer me this. Hold on, Bon Joe. Let me finish this.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know I was already on the show.
You're already on the show because I bring you on, Mr. Clanging and banging himself. All right. My thing to you, Jolie, is this. If I'm a new head coach, do I not want to bring in my own people? Like, forget McDaniel. Just picture a new head coach at that point, Jolie. And if I'm a new head coach and I know the average life expectancy, and I'm getting feedback, I'm going to put you on mute, Jolie, for a second. And I know that the average life expectancy, and I say life expectancy, the average tenure of a new head coach in the NFL is 1 to 3 years. You get 1 to 3 years to make a difference or you're gone. Knowing that, I truly believe, and knowing the situation that McDaniel is put into in Miami, with all the craziness that's going on with the owner, okay, it is entirely plausible to believe that he was told you were going to keep Boyer. That is the guy you're going with. And if as a new head coach, your first job is, well, I want to bring my own guys in because if I fail, then it's on me. Because it goes to the fact that if McDaniel has an out here in Miami, he can go into any job interview in the future and say, they said I couldn't bring in my own guys. So, like, McDaniel will have another opportunity to be a head coach down the road somewhere because he has a true out here. He was not allowed to pick and choose his entire coaching staff.
Yeah, man. I think too, man. I think they were force fed. I don't think they were force fed this issue because if they know they piss off this coaching staff that's left behind, they might join Flo in that civil case, and that's something that he doesn't want to do.
That could play into my theory, but
Steven, you asked me a question, so let me go ahead and answer. If you think about it, though, I don't think he was force fed. I think more of it is Mike McDaniel is an offensive coach. He doesn't really have that defensive mindset, if you will, or even the pull. So
all the more reason to go out and get a defensive-minded person.
Listen, but why would you want to change when this defense has been effective in 2 years? If this defense sucks
with a defensive-minded head coach, Jolie.
No. Listen. If this defense was not as good as it was the last 2 years, then absolutely he would have gotten a chance to go ahead and get, not that he didn't already get a chance to get his own coach, but he didn't need to because already the defense was pretty good. So why would I ruffle the feathers in something that works when I already have to focus on something that doesn't work, which is the offense? So for him, it wasn't.
Wait, at what point was the defense good, though? That's the question. At what point was the defense good?
The defense was good for 7 games last year.
Exactly. What's the guy that we kept? We stripped his play calling duties.
Now hold on, Bonjo. I know I've been saying that. Those are allegations.
We lost games, even on our losses.
No, hold on. No, because I want to know what's the consistency we're trying to keep here. Because so far, the consistency that we try to keep is on trash.
Yep.
The best guy, the coach for the best unit that we had. Hold on, the best unit that we had, we got rid of that coach, which was a secondary coach, right?
Yep.
Now, we kept the guy that had allegedly had his play calling duties stripped.
Yep, allegedly.
So what are we talking about? So exactly, what consistency are we trying to keep?
Jolie, I promise you on everything, if I'm a new head coach, Josh Boyer would never be my number 1 pick as defensive coordinator.
Come on.
Hello, obviously he's not going to be number
guys,
1.
Come on, let's be serious here.
I don't understand how Jared Alexander gets a whole bunch of recognition.
Why would you not?
And then all of a sudden, Jared Alexander is gone. Like, I don't understand that. You give high praise for being a great secondaries coach. You initially or allegedly take over play call duties in the booth. It's been, advertised on Twitter that you made that change, and then you get rid of your best coach. That's not I'm praising you.
He got fired because he wanted to be a DC.
He got no. That has nothing to do with him getting
even
fired.
If he wanted to be a DC,
I never met a guy who did good get fired.
Yeah, he got fired because he wasn't going to play along with this.
I agree.
I got fired because of that.
Politics.
Why would you get fired? Why wouldn't it be we're mutually parting ways? He got fired.
And teams that play politics in football are usually trash, i.e. us.
Bonjo, if I could offer a little pushback on that, we're assuming that there wasn't some kind of debate between Flores and Boyer, and Flores just won the debate. That doesn't mean that Boyer can't say, hey, well, I was wrong. This is the way you call defense, and now this is the way he plans to call defense. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just the same argument that supporters of Tua make. Well, people can get better. People can, I mean, if he got play calling duties stripped from him, and then he sat there and watched a guy do it successfully, he'd have to be an idiot not to copy that success. And if he is that idiot, then we made a mistake. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, we also saw a coach that developed Hollins, developed our other safety. I forgot his name. The kid that came out of Texas.
They need him. Brandon
Jones. Our 2-star cornerbacks love him. So again, he developed the best part of our unit. Right. He also showed that he could call plays.
That unit is developed and almost autonomous at this point.
I know, but Color, it also was rumored that he was also calling plays. So if you got a guy that could call plays,
you know what?
Again, this is rumor.
Bonjo, let me interrupt, Bonjo. I don't even want you to argue that point. I don't even want you to argue that point because I think that would get lost in translation. I want you to argue your first point, and I'm gonna back you up on this. Our secondary was the best out of all the defense. And not only Color, you can make the point. Well, it was already good because of the talent that it had. It's not just Xavier Howard. It's not just Javon Holland. There's all those other players that are there that I think Gerald Alexander was the prime person on the reason that the secondary was so good.
No, I'm just saying that they're all adults and that they don't necessarily need to be coddled forever by a Jared Alexander. Okay. You know what I mean?
But hold on, Color. There's also year 2 regression. So if we see Holland regress, if we see Jones regress, what does that say?
It does prove your point. But what I'm saying is that level of regression may be minimized by our new offensive genius head coach that can put more than 20 points on the board.
And Color.
No, hold on. That worries me.
Hold on, Bonjo. That
worries me too.
It worries me. Let me say that's going to be why there's potential one and dones for this team.
Steven, San Fran only put up 4 to 5 more points than us. That's the thing.
Yeah, they averaged 24.
20. San Fran averaged 24. What does that say? So you're saying the regression of our defense? That means teams are going to put up more points on us. That don't mean that doesn't equal us to winning more games.
Well, I'm more concerned about taking away the points that our defense scores on a regular basis.
Exactly. So
level 2 Noon said 20 points. I was promised 132 points a game.
So let's say okay, you take away our defensive points. All right. So now we're going to average what? 13? 13 points?
No, I don't know if those got counted. Do
14?
Those get counted in the points per game total, the 20.4? Or is that just offensive? I think it's the total team points.
It's the total team points. So if you take away our defensive scores now,
we're scoring 13 a game, right?
So we average 2 touchdowns a game.
Come on.
I'm telling you guys.
So
right
we can't afford our defense to regress at all.
But you came in saying they were trash. How could they regress if they're already at the bottom of the barrel?
We went 1-7.
We were trash at the beginning of the 7 when allegedly Boyer was calling the plays.
But see, I'm not
now we're gonna have to call the plays for the entire season
for the first 7 games.
Can I say something, Stephen? I've been quiet for a while.
If that was the case,
hold on 1 second, Russell. I'll let you go in a second.
Every single game, and that was not the case, Monjo. We were very close in a lot of those games, and the other game, granted, Buffalo, it's Buffalo. There's nothing we can do about that right now, but we were close in most of those games. And to add on, these people were rookies, so of course they're gonna have to play and learn while they're losing to get better at their position. Now, I'm not saying that we should have gotten rid of Gerard Alexander. We should have kept him. I was very shocked when we got rid of him. But my thing is, it doesn't matter. This defense was developing, hence why we were getting better as the weeks kept going. But to say that they were trash, no, they were just rookies.
All right. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I want to let Russell go. Go ahead, Russell. Take yourself off mute, Russ.
Okay, so you keep bringing up that allegedly Boyer was calling plays during that time frame that we kept losing games.
Mm-hmm.
But see, this is the issue, is we've also heard that once Gerald Alexander went back up in the booth, he called plays. We've also heard that when the team started doing better on defense, that it was because of Boyer. There have been multiple alleged reports pointing at all of this whole situation, and you cannot base anything off of that because essentially you're playing guessing games at that point. You cannot prejudge Boyer because Flo was here, because Gerald Alexander was here. You can't really prejudge any of these coaches.
Can I interrupt, Russell?
Because of the whole dynamic of the drama within the organization that Flo created.
Hold on, no, time out. Stop that. Flo did not
part
create that
you could have
drama.
left
Don't
off
do
that
that.
Flo
Don't do
created.
that.
This was
Exactly.
created
Flo
by our
did not
owner
create that drama.
trying to manipulate the situation.
And
Our
Russell,
owner trying to win games.
That's not an excuse to me, man.
No, that still
I'm sorry.
creates drama.
And
Russell, I am anti-Flores. I don't know what else to tell you.
I know. That's why I
can't stand that man.
I get it.
So say that you're anti-Flores, but don't say that start. Don't say
now, Russell, are you
anti drama? Don't start slandering the man's name. Don't do that.
Russell, are you anti Stephen Ross? Russell?
No, not entirely. Not yet.
What?
I'm done.
Why? Do you know why? We've already had this conversation, Stephen. How many fans in this fan base have whined and complained that Stephen Ross doesn't try to do enough in the offseason to make this team a winner? And then the one offseason he actually does.
Not enough.
No, Russell.
Not enough
there's a
people
way to do
whine.
something right.
Bring home enough bread. Now that you went and stole
hold on.
bread,
let Russell finish. Go ahead, Russ. I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
The point of the matter is every owner in the NFL does stuff like this. Every team in the NFL does stuff.
No, they don't. Joe Robbie didn't do it to get Dan Marino.
I want to let Russell Russell finish. Go, Russell. Because I'm gonna get him.
Joe Robbie did not do this.
Dude,
hold on. Let Russell finish. Let Russell finish.
Please. The game has changed. The way that people operate within the NFL has changed. It's shown on the field that it's not the same game when Joe Robbie was here. It's shown behind the scenes that it's a bunch of drama, and it was all stirred up because Flo didn't get his way. Okay. I guarantee you, if we had not taken Tua, or we had actually gone after and pulled the trigger on Deshaun Watson at the trade deadline, Flo wouldn't be. You got to understand, he literally stopped talking to the entire coaching staff. And then all of a sudden we get better. Then we get better.
Hold on, no, allegedly. Russell, add allegedly in there because you don't
Flo
know that
Flo tanked this season.
Russell, are you finished? Because I don't want you to say I interrupted you. Are you finished?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So three things, and I know everybody else is going to hop on board with this. Number one, the fact that you don't blame Stephen Ross is absurd to me, because the common denominator out of all of these regimes is the buck, and starts and ends with Stephen Ross. And the other thing is, I don't think that you said one factual thing. I think other owners do this too. But you know what the difference between other owners and Stephen Ross is?
They don't get caught.
They don't get caught, and they don't.
I don't even buy that. All owners do this.
I didn't say all owners.
Lamar Hunt don't do this in Kansas City.
I said some.
Pittsburgh Rudy doesn't do this in Pittsburgh.
I said some.
Kroenke didn't have to do it.
And
there's a lot of owners that traditionally win that don't do this. So let's not throw everybody in the same pool and mud and try to muddy up the waters. I'm not ever going to buy that argument that every all 32 teams do this. That's lunacy.
Has yet to have a losing season. Tomlin. Then why you watch it if it's rigged?
All right, hold
Why
on,
do we
Russell.
watch it?
Russell, hold on, Russell.
Jerry Jones didn't do this.
Well, hey, I would disagree
No.
with the Jerry Jones, but either way.
He never intentionally tanked and paid his coaches the freaking
I don't
tank.
know. I don't know if
Yeah, no, but he would cover up his players' antics.
Let's get something straight.
But that's different. We talking about
Crypto. Hold on one second, Crypto. Hold on. I hear you.
we talking about the fact of paying off people.
I never said all owners. I said some. But the
He was
other
paying off the cops when Michael Irvin was doing his
That's a strategic ploy to muddy the waters. That's nothing but a strategic ploy to muddy the waters to justify Ross's antics.
So Crypto, let me ask you something, Crypto. Let me ask you. Hold on, Color. Let me ask you something, Crypto. You mean to tell me that Stephen Ross is the first owner to try to pay somebody for losses? Is that what you're telling me?
I ain't saying he's the first. I'm not going to say all 32 teams are doing it.
I never said all 32 teams.
To the
I
owner
just
that
said
has
some.
a ring because of it.
I don't know. I don't know. But I can tell you right now.
No one's saying Stephen Ross is, but I'm definitely sure all 32 teams are doing it. I know Kansas City ain't doing it. I know Pittsburgh ain't doing it. I know Buffalo ain't doing it. Rob Wilson ain't doing it.
Crypto. You are naming all owners that are true football owners. You're not noticing
let me
that.
ask one
Yeah,
question.
and they're all perennial winners.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
that's why they not.
And you don't know they're not doing it.
Hold on. 100%. You don't know that they're not doing it. Now, here's the thing. Let's get off that argument for 1 second. Let's just look on the board of back to the Russell's original argument that he doesn't play Ross. He's also made the wrong decision time after time after time. He might be trying, but he makes the wrong decision every time.
Dumb as rocks when it comes to football.
I'm not upset with Ross for trying to win games.
But you can be upset with him for being dumb.
Not trying to win games.
Expecting different results.
Especially when it didn't work.
You're never gonna win if you keep doing the wrong thing.
So Russell, let me ask you something. Russell, I have
trying to win games. You're not coming up with a result. He's not coming up with results.
Exactly. I could be upset with you for being dumb as rocks.
The Rams and Bengals last time I checked was playing on Sunday, not the Dolphins.
Russell, let me ask you a question.
It didn't work.
Hold on, Russell. Hold on. Let me ask Russell a question. What is it going to take? What would it take for you to see that Stephen Ross is part of the problem and not part of the solution?
I mean, essentially, I know he's part of the problem right now. But the thing is, what you're not understanding is what I'm putting in context right now are the allegations made against Ross.
Okay.
I don't blame him for trying to tank to get the best quarterback.
That's your point of view. That's your point of view, and that's that. There are some of the fan base that
Flores destroyed our entire season.
How?
Stubborn.
How?
Because he did not. He is stubborn, and he did not support the quarterback that we had on this team.
Again,
no. Hold on, guys. Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
I won't say he did 100%. That's an absolute statement because he did support the quarterback by giving him a good defense. By definition,
I wish I had a mute all button. All right,
and in the last 2 years.
Russell, let's break this down. All right, buddy? You want to blame Flores because he wasn't a team player, because he had his own opinion of whatever. So let's play devil's advocate.
He hold on, Russell. Let's play with his own coaching staff.
Russell, hold on.
Allegedly.
Let's play devil's advocate here, Russell. Number one, if Ross and Greer picked Flores as their guy, then it's on Ross in every way, shape, or form if Flores that doesn't win. Okay? That's my opinion on it. Now, with that being said, let's play your scenario and my scenario to it. If Flores is fighting tooth and nail, and Greer's and Ross are fighting tooth and nail for two separate things, you can equally blame that on Flores, and you can equally blame that on Ross. But the fact of the matter is they were never on the same page, which to me, the problem there is Ross. Ross, it is on you to bring in people to an organization that are on the same page, that are in line with one another's thought process to have a winning franchise. If you decided that, hey, look, we're going to tank for games so that we can do it, so be it. but everybody should be on the same page. And if not, that's on you as the owner. Nobody else. None. It's on Ross, not Flores, because Flores has morals or integrity. He has those things.
Yeah, it's called knowing the room.
I'm not mad at it. But that's on Ross for choosing Flores, not Flores because he wants to do the right thing. If you wanted a guy in here that was going to do it, then you pick a guy that doesn't have as many morals or as much as integrity as Flores has. Which, by the way, as a fan, if that's the route you chose to go, so be it. But that's on Ross, nobody else.
And Steven, may I mention?
He's the one hiring and firing coaches every 3-4 years. So it seems like he's the problem. He's not hiring the right person then.
It's just a simple matter of knowing the room.
Hold on, guys. I keep hearing a narrative.
Yeah, he's totally tone deaf.
I keep hearing a narrative that he didn't support Tua by telling Tua that, hey, we're trying to trade, because it's been reported that he went to Tua and said, hey, we're trying to trade for Watson. So he let him know. And apparently that's seen as a negative thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, he's trying to upgrade the team. Why is he not saying that? Why is that's not looking at it as him trying to upgrade the team?
I want to say something to John Von Joe's point. From the very beginning, Flores has done nothing but state that he is going to be honest to everybody in that building.
Thank you.
When they were starting to talk trades for Deshaun Watson, he went to the man as an adult and told him,
yo, these are what they're trying to do. This is what we're doing. We're trying to trade for Watson. And people are saying, "Oh, well, that broke Tua's morale." Okay, guess what? Tua's soft. Then he's not a dog.
Yeah,
he's not
like an adult saying, "This is what the score is."
At least to be honest with you,
coming for your position. You're a dog. You go for it.
Well, that's another thing too with Tua. I mean, Tua kept saying the whole time that he loved the transparency. He said all the time, "I love the transparency that coaches bear with me when all the questions were being asked."
Exactly.
Now all of a sudden during the Tennessee game, you can't talk to people like that. Yeah, but in the Tennessee game, you can't talk to people like that. Like, which one is Tua going to pick?
Exactly, man.
The fact it was Ross that put the ixnay on the Watson trade, not Flores.
Russell, let me state this for you, buddy.
Can I respond?
I do want you to respond. Let me say this, and then I'll let you respond. Everybody, let Russell respond. I hear your point of view. In my humble opinion, I love you. You're part of the show. I love when you come on. I think you're dead wrong, bro. I think you're dead wrong in every way, shape, or form. Because one thing is for sure, you can slant and I'm gonna call it what it is. I'm gonna call a spade, Russell. And I'm not saying you. I'm just saying in general. It's easy to tear down somebody's integrity when they're trying to do the right thing. Now, I want to state something for the record, and that might contradict that. I will say that I think the moment that happened, if he had true integrity and standards, he should have stepped up at that moment and said, "Hey, this is what's going on." Now, with that being said, life is life, and nobody's going to.
And what about the integrity of the rest of the
that.
people in the room
Exactly.
that he owed coaching to?
Steven, let me say this about support. Yeah, that's an absolute statement by saying he wasn't trying to support his quarterback. By definition, if you try to bring a top 10 defense to your team, by definition, that is supporting your quarterback. If you were able to bring a top 10 defense to the team over the last 2 seasons.
$250 on a jersey.
The special teams, other than last year, was pretty good the prior year and Flo's second year. So by definition, that was supporting the team. That's supporting the quarterback.
I agree.
He wasn't able to get it together offensively. Yeah, we know that. But are we going to say Andy Reid is not supporting Mahomes because he doesn't give him a great defense? Are we going to say he's sabotaging Mahomes because he didn't give Mahomes a great defense? Are we going to say that now?
One more thing. Let's not try to act like Flo didn't try to protect Tua by saying, "Yo, he's not ready to play."
Hold on, guys. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Russell, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay, so I agree with your point of view where it comes to, but see, I also felt like Flores was the wrong hire from the jump. I never wanted him to begin with.
That's a better point.
That's a better point.
So
then I agree.
I just you don't hire a coach from a division rival who's known for what they're known for.
The general manager that hired him is from that same division rival.
Exactly the problem.
Bobby Greer, his father, is still in the Patriots building.
And that's another problem. But I do want to at least state this in the comments real quick, if you don't mind, Steven. Big Drip, I don't go back and forth with people over this topic, and you can say what you want about me, but I will say this. I'm not one to talk. If you really got an issue with my point of view on Flores and you want to call me out for something that's not true, at least have it in you to come do it to my face and you can catch these hands instead.
Come on, Russell. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that,
I'm
Russell.
just saying.
No,
Don't go there, man.
Nah, Russell.
Don't go
I got
there,
to put you
man.
on mute. No, I have no problem.
You got people out there saying we got terrible takes, but they don't have the nuts to come up here.
That I have no problem if you call somebody out, but don't say you're gonna catch these hands, bro. Like I'm not. That's not gonna happen. Not on my channel. But I have no problem if you call somebody out in the chat. By all means,
Yeah, it should never
call them
have
out
to
in the
come to
chat.
that.
I would just say let's leave it at come up on the panel and say your piece.
Yeah, let's go at it.
Just leave it that. Yeah, just come on the panel and express your grievances.
Russell,
That's all.
You and I have been oil and water since we met, but I do respect your opinions.
Yeah. They're wrong, Russell, but I respect them. I love you, Russell. I'm just.
I would say this, and to be honest with you, I never had the courage to come up here until Steven allowed me to come up here, and I appreciate it. So if you have something to say, just come up here, and Steven will allow you to come here, and it's all gonna be what it is. But as far as what Vonjo and Crypto were saying, you can't tell me that we did not support this team by not bringing this type of defense the way that it was. And just so you know, Russell, in the last 2 years, our team was top 10 when it comes to win percentage. Top 10. So I do want you to at least, if you didn't know that,
Vonjo, look at the comment. He said, "Ain't nobody fighting Vonjo. No one want to go to that funeral, clanging and banging." Love Crystal Lacus.
Listen, man, I don't even go through that no more, man. I'm a grown man with kids.
He's like, I'm a grown man with kids. I ain't got no look.
I'm a grown man with kids. Doesn't mean I don't train.
Man.
I can't sit up here and let nobody say that
Vonjo, Vonjo, where you train at, Vonjo?
Because he had one deficiency on offense. And we're not going to sit up here and use the same argument about Andy Reid and his defense was atrocious against the freaking anybody. So we're not going to say Andy Reid doesn't support Mahomes because he puts a trash defense on the field, or that they not supporting Josh Allen because his defense is trash in that last 12 seconds. It just sometimes teams or coaches have a deficiency on one part of the team. Either special teams are bad, defense is bad, or offense is bad. All three is bad. But if 2/3 is bad, 2/3 is good, and one is bad, we can't say 100% of it is bad.
Well, let me ask you this, Crypto, because we kept Flores as special teams coach. We kept Flores as defensive coordinator. We kept Flores as linebacking coach. We kept Flores as running back coach. Studsville's still here, from what I hear.
I've never seen
bad.
I have never.
That's my argument.
I'm not going to argue.
Spawn of Satan.
Hey, hold on. I'm not going to argue any offensive coaches, but I have to admit I've never seen an offensive coordinator retain to a new coach. Like Studsville's a co-offensive coordinator. I've never seen that.
But Steven, can I make a point?
Coaching was not that bad, apparently.
Hold on, guys. I want to make a point because a lot of people came at Flo for one particular thing when it comes to his offensive coaching staff, and I see everybody celebrating McDaniels, but they pretty much crucified Flores for the same thing, because right now they were saying that Flo brought a whole bunch of yes men. He didn't bring no alphas in there.
And the irony, Vonjo, is
right now
the reason he was fired. I keep pointing that
right
out.
now. I see McDaniels bringing in a whole bunch of first timers or yes men that could be considered yes men, but they're saying, oh, he fits his style. He fits McDaniel's style. They're not crucifying him for not having any alphas in there, because I don't see no veteran coaches on his staff so far.
Oh, well, all right. Let me bring in Alexander. Alexander, you've been in the back room.
I don't see no alphas.
What's up, Alexander? I know you have a lot to say, so go ahead, Alexander.
We can like McDaniel without trashing his predecessor. That's all.
Hey, guys, hold on.
Hold on real quick.
It's okay to like McDaniels without trashing his predecessor.
Get more bars.
That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Help this customer real quick. Give me 2 minutes.
All right, Alexander.
All right,
that's what I'm saying. Yo, if you like the
hey, guys, real quick, Alexander has a customer. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
It has never happened, bro.
Turn on the camera, Alexander.
Alexander, we want to see you talk to a customer.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, snap.
Remember, more bars and more places with Alexander.
Give him a free cover.
Oh, well, hey, What do you all think? I was just reading about Frank Smith, our new OC.
Wait, y'all already done? Y'all already done with the customer?
No.
I think he's still helping him.
This is Roach talking. This is
okay.
Tablets for
So-
he's doing up the order.
I'm looking at him, and he was an offensive line coach in college and a tight ends coach with who was it? Tight ends coach with the Bears, this offensive line coach with the Saints, run game coordinator with the Chargers, now offensive coordinator with the Dolphins. And I'm looking like we keep our defense, and now we got a guy who likes the run game in McDaniels, offensive coordinator who knows nothing but the run game, right? I'm hoping to see a lot of big runs next year or in years to come, because to me, seeing a guy like Barry Sanders streak it down for a touchdown is more exciting than watching Aaron Rodgers throw a 70-yard touchdown to me. So I'm excited to see a good running
Do you
game.
think the Chargers hire is a indicator we might be pulling old Melvin Gordon over here? He is a free agent.
Yeah, the free agents are Melvin Gordon, David Johnson, Jalen Richard, Leonard Fournette, Philip Lindsay, Cordero Patterson, Moser, and then it goes down the list from there.
I'd take Fournette or Melvin Gordon.
All right, I got somebody in the back room who's never been
I'll
on
take Melvin
before.
Gordon.
Let me bring on this person's name is Slick Rain. Slick Rain, hello.
Welcome. Hey, what's going on, guys, man? Just paying attention to what y'all talking about.
Hey, Slick, is this your first time on the panel here?
Yep.
Welcome to the show, man. Where you from, man? Tell us a little bit about you before you come on.
Me, I'm from Jersey, man. I've been a Dolphins fan for like 20 years, so like I feel all the pain y'all been going through, man.
Welcome to the channel, man. Super excited to have you on, man. The floor is yours, man. What do you want to talk about?
All right, thanks for being let me come on.
No problem.
I just wanted to talk about the coaching staff, what McDaniel's doing, and like I kind of respected and understand it. Like he bringing in guys to put in what he's envisioning to build the run game. Like most of the guys he brought in was like run game coordinators, and he got a good receiver coach with Wes Welker. So I feel like the offense is going to be top this year.
Look, I think the offense is going to be the best it's been in 15 or 20 years. I'll agree with you with that. And by the way, I'm optimistic about that because of who Mike McDaniel is, because I personally love the coaching hire of the offensive line coach, because I said whoever he brings in needs to have a history of developing talent. And what better than a college coach at a mid-level school like Boston College to develop talent, who has had one of the best. That's somebody who's got a good eye for talent, recruit, knowing what a good player has, developing that person's skill. Like I'm telling you all right now, the best coaching hire of this offseason was the O-line coach Applebaum. I promise you all it is.
That I actually like. But let me ask you a question, Steven. Do you think we could have got a better OC?
No, I don't care about the OC. I said the moment that McDaniel said at the press conference he was calling plays, and I actually said it before that. I said if McDaniel's the one that's calling plays, which I assume he will be, and then he confirmed it at the press conference. I said we're going to get a young guy who he's going to want to groom.
Can I say also that?
But hold on. The reason why I bring that up is because, again, people keep saying, "Okay, we need a coach with no ego." You saying that you're going to call your own plays and you're just going to do the play calling. Okay, that shows that, okay, you know what? I don't want to bring in a veteran OC to groom me or help me because I don't need it.
No, but I do want to point out that nobody in there, and I'll challenge anybody to find a clip of somebody predicting that Austin Eckler was going to become the star running back that he is. Same with Melvin Gordon. I mean, that's who we hired as our OC. I mean, the guy that coordinated those two guys, at least one of them in Eckler. I don't know if he was already there back when Gordon was their running back, but we've seen nothing but consistent good running out of the Chargers the last couple years. So and you got a guy in Eckler that everybody chalks up in their fantasy lineups now.
So, Color, what does that say about Tua's progression then in next year?
Well, again, that tells me that the coach has abandoned all thought of Tua progression, or at least the idea that he's not going to leave himself vulnerable and rely totally on the passing game and is going to focus on the running game, by the way, which is the best thing anybody could do for the climate that we play in. I mean,
do we have a QB? Do we have a QB? Do we have a QB
I don't
coach
think
already?
that the 72 model can win a Super Bowl in today's NFL, but that's what they're going for. And if you look at what Greasy and Morrill did in 72, I don't even think we got to 3,000 passing yards. But we had like 2,800 rushing yards between Morris and Zonka. So really the question of what we have to ask ourselves is, after we've seen what we've built up here, like O-line, we know we're gonna fix the O-line. The O-line coach from Boston College, the running game coordinator from the Chargers, and our offensive minded head coach that is explicitly stated he wants to, and has shown that he's a specialist when it comes to the running game. The question then becomes, who is going to be our Larry Zonka? Because that's the key to this whole thing working, is a guy like that. And that the only guy in the NFL that's like that is Derrick Henry.
Well, yeah, you can give me a game manager. You can give me a game manager. You can give me, if you want to have these type of backs by committee, you can do all that. As long as you give me a stout defense, because if we're going to be this type of team where we have a game manager, a la Trent Dilfer, a la Joe Flacco, then yeah, I'll mimic Baltimore if you have me that stout defense. But besides that, I see Tua being more of a game manager more than ever now.
And real quick, thanks for the info on that level too.
That's
I
exactly
wasn't
what
really
it's gonna
sure
be.
myself. At the very least, he continued the continuity on Eckler, so we can give him at least that credit.
All right, that's that. All right, that's that.
So you guys know who would I like to see at running back?
Did you get the sale, Alexander?
It was a trade-in.
Oh.
So have you guys ever heard of Sean Tucker from Syracuse? He was Syracuse running back.
He sounds
for the
familiar.
Heisman. And what's impressive about him, Syracuse ain't a good college football team, right? So he ain't running behind the Alabama line, and this dude was outrunning everybody in college. So look up that guy.
Okay, because I thought you was gonna try to bring up drafting running back in the first round. I'm gonna say no, don't do it.
No. I'm just saying, if you're one of the top running backs out of a school like Syracuse, that says a lot to me, more than it's being a top running back from Alabama.
All right, Alexander. All right, Alexander. The floor is yours. Go, Alexander.
So this goes out to Jolie, Vonjo, Color Commentary, Cap for Life, and Crypto.
Wow, he's
Everybody
calling all you out.
We about to get spanked.
Go ahead, Alexander.
So
about to get spanked. He's gonna come here to try. He's gonna come here and try to defend Tua.
I want you to go out there, a professional football player, okay? Have your head coach that never believed in you go up to you and say, "Oh, we're gonna go up there. We're gonna go get the top 5 quarterback. Okay, we're gonna trade you away. We're gonna get a guy that's gonna replace you. We're gonna get a guy that replaces you. Okay, I want you to have that in your head. Okay, that's gonna be in your head.
Alexander, pause right there for a second.
Wait a minute. No.
You already started on a flawed premise.
You're gonna sit there and you're gonna call him soft. You're gonna sit there and call him soft and call him a whole bunch of names.
I never called him soft.
No,
I didn't call him soft.
I did. I'm gonna stand by that.
Some people call him soft, not particularly you guys. You're not particularly.
No,
you
I
guys.
did.
Okay, Von Joe called him soft. Okay, I want you to. So you played football. So your coach goes up to you and says, "Hey, I'm going to go ahead and get another guy to replace you." Okay, I want you to have that in mind. You're that's in your mindset right there. You're not going to play your best. You're not going to play your best at all.
I disagree.
Guys, hold on. Could I address this? Steven, could I address this?
That's my mindset.
One at a time.
You kind of dismissing Tua, the guy you trying to support.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Bonjo, Crypto, Color, then Cap. Bonjo, Crypto, Color, and then Jolie. I'm sorry, Jolie. And then
Alexander, I'm gonna tell you this. I expect you to sit there and go earn it and tell them that they're gonna not take your spot. Because remember, this is the NFL. All right. This happens every offseason. This happens every game that players come in and try to take a starting position, and you got to earn that. But why is that different? And that happens at cornerback, running back, O-line, D-line, every position. But it's all quarterback is protected. He's messing with his mentality. No, you say if you're a dog and you're a man about yours, you go earn it. Ain't nothing given in the league.
All right, Crypto.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna agree with what Van Joe just said as far as that. You put your head down and grab the bull by the horns and keep going. You think if Jason Sanders was being told that Justin Tucker was coming in to replace him, he's going to all of a sudden, you're going to blame him for missed field goals? No, you go. If you don't want to replace you, then you go out there and bang every field goal through the freaking upright so Justin Tucker can't replace you. It's no freaking different.
Color commentary?
See, y'all are attacking the Bailey that Alexander just put out. I'm going to go ahead and attack the Mott. First of all, there is absolutely no proof whatsoever that those are the words Flores told Tua. First of all, okay, even if he told him that we were looking to get Watson, that doesn't graduate to the level of him telling him we're going to trade him out. Who's to say that we weren't going to keep him as a backup? Secondly, it wasn't Flores that went to Tua and said, I'm going to go trade for Deshaun Watson. Okay, it was Flores going to Tua saying, this is what the organization wants to do out of respect to Tua so he knows what the hell is going on. And thirdly, I'll just reiterate the attack of the Bailey that the other gentleman just made. Yeah, put up or shut up. There's 1,500 players that hear those words from their coach every single day. And lastly, why would he be saying those things to Tua and not believing in him as the narrative goes if the man's own son wears his jersey?
Cap.
And I'll leave it at that.
Cap.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, man. Like, if you don't want your feelings hurt in a game where men are played, then play like a man. Like, it's real simple. Like, nobody's saying that, what was said to Tua didn't affect him. But, man, if you're going to be some type of elite quarterback in this league, you brush that off your shoulders, man. You don't throw interceptions. You throw game winners. You don't put us against the back end of a game and put us in a situation where we got to come back because you throw picks. Like, if you want to be a dog, finish the game. Earn what you have to earn. You're not going to tell me, oh, I respect Flores' transparency when the situation got brought up, but then you pretty much cowered out in the Tennessee game and start saying you can't talk to me like that. Dude, go win the game.
And Jolie.
How about that?
Outside of
Hold
the
on,
Tennessee
Alexander.
game.
Let Jolie go.
Oh, sorry,
Go
Jolie.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. Sorry,
Thank you.
Jolie.
Mine is short and sweet. Let me put it to you this way, Alex. When it comes to this sport or any sport, it's 90% mental, 10% physical. And right now, if you're going to let one comment get to you, then maybe you're not strong enough in that. Now, we're assuming we know, like Color said, exactly the words that we're being told. But at the end of the day, I mean, let me put it to you this way. Michael Jordan's coach literally told him he was going to be nothing when it comes to basketball. 20 years later, greatest of all time. So you have to have that mentality that I'm going to rip your heart out. Not literally, but no matter what you tell me, no one's stopping me. And that is where we're coming from. So if
and to
you're
your
gonna
point,
let some
Jolie,
words get to you, then you may not have the mental all the way there strong enough to be able to.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Alex, this is more mental than it is physical. We're not saying that Tua is soft physically. But mentally, come on, bro. Like, you have to put you got to connect the dots here.
He has shown he has had incredible moxie through the last 2 years, and he has handled adversity. I commend this kid for handling
But you just
so much adversity.
Hold on, whoa.
He's handled the adversity with praise.
What adversity? Hold on, time out. What's the adversity?
How about coming back from a broken hip?
Okay, guess what? He's an NFL. Injuries happen. You recover. It's your job.
Overcoming your injured receivers. Overcoming your injured receivers and still winning games and pinning up numbers without his receivers.
What
numbers? That was the defense putting up those numbers, Mike.
What numbers?
When you get paid hold on. When you get paid $30 million, when you get paid $30 million fully guaranteed for you to perform a job, it is your job to do it. I shouldn't have to tell you, good job. I'm literally paying you millions to do your job. So why don't you do your job if you want extra?
$38 million
Alexander,
one snap.
Alexander, it goes to this as well. If Flores was such a great head coach, then he would know how to coach a good head coach. And by the way, what are examples of good head coaches? John Harbaugh is a good head coach. Mike Tomlin's a good head coach. Sean Payton was a good head coach. Tony Dungy was a good head coach. Even Belichick is a good head coach.
What did all those coaches have? Longevity, consistency.
And it's been
Belichick started off as a trash coach, by the way.
And no, I don't think so.
Compared to Cleveland,
guys, let me
Cleveland,
finish
he was
my opinion.
absolutely trash.
I will say this. I will say that it's been on record that former Patriots have said Bill Belichick doesn't care what you do. As long as you're on time, you perform in the game, and you're respectful, that's all he wants. He doesn't care if you come to class to meetings and pajamas. That was literally said by Gronk.
Just do your job.
Just do your job. And I think good head coaches know how to deal with individual players on an individual basis. John Harbaugh does a great job with that. Think about all the people that have been on that Ravens team. Tomlin has done the same thing in Pittsburgh. Not everybody likes Roethlisberger. Come on. He is not a well-liked guy in that locker room. That has been known.
Well, I don't like him either.
But Tomlin knows how to deal with different personalities and different people. Flores did not have that.
And that might be a fair argument, Stephen D. And I just wanted to say one thing about the
Caller,
jersey.
hold on real quick. And Caller, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to, and then I'll let you go. I just want to go on record as stating that, this is not, I wasn't attacking all you guys for what you said. I was just responding.
Oh, yes, you did. You went up there. I'm gonna stir the pot. You were over here talking crap about crypto.
I missed
Captain,
you guys are
Fins.
No, you guys
get
are
it,
awesome.
Alexander.
How dare you, sir?
You guys are
How
awesome.
dare
You guys are awesome. I love debating with you guys.
No, man, you guys. No, it's okay, Alexander.
You good, Alex.
You
gave us something to talk about. We appreciate it.
Exactly, Alexander. You had an opinion. It was a bad take, but
good. You just got to give us some free phones, man.
I did want to say though, the reason I keep making this point about Flores' son wearing a jersey, I know it seems minimal to a lot of people in chat, but you got to remember that the media narrative about Flores would have us believe that he is literally Satan. Okay. And I just can't imagine a scenario where Satan would put a Jesus Christ jersey on his son. I'm just sorry. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me that this guy is all the problem in the building and hates Tua, yet his son, he goes home every night to a #1 jersey on his own kid.
Which, let me add to that real quick. If anything, Flores showed respect to Tua by being upfront with him and telling him, listen, this is what's going on, and I'm going to be upfront with you. That shows more about Flores and his character than it does about the team.
He's an asshole.
And right, Barry, it doesn't mean anything. If
Doesn't
you're
show
a
anything
person
about
that
Coach
doesn't
Flores'
care
character.
about family and values and things like that, then it doesn't mean anything. You're right, Barry.
All right. So, Steven, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, Rose.
So, I hope to God, I see TD in the chat. I hope to God that a year or so ago, when I asked TD, is he going to get a Tua jersey? And he was like, I got to wait. I want to see how this guy plays out. I wish I would have listened to him. I went and bought a jersey of every color. My wife brought home a kitten that was orange and white. I named this son of a bitch Tua. And
wow.
And
you went off the deep. You went off the deep end.
And
what was the actual retail price?
And he's the meanest cat. He attacks me all the time, and he's just a jerk. And I'm stuck with this cat for life.
Hey, you better watch out. Peter's listening.
You got the cat a jersey too?
Dude,
yo, just trade the cat.
So I need either need TD to be completely wrong and Tua's the next Tom Brady or Dan Marino, or
let's hope.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm screwed.
Trade the cat.
Gotta get Tony up here, man. TD, where you at, man?
Yeah, I'm sorry, TD. I didn't listen.
I get that the kid is crying for a Tua jersey. He's going to get it, but we're not talking about Legos here. Okay, if Flores really hated Tua the way people say, it would have leaked out to his family, and I doubt his kid would have been a fan out of the gate.
Yeah. No, I want to
ask everybody up here. I want to ask all parents up here. I want to ask all parents.
Take
wanna
a
ask
drive.
co-parents.
Hold on. Take a drive 5 hours
Sorry.
away and dump the cat. TD says.
Dang, that's ruthless, man.
That
Hey,
is
that's
ruthless.
crazy.
That's just mean.
I want to ask
Hey,
everybody.
you know what? I'm gonna,
We do
hey,
not
TD,
condone animal
I'm gonna,
cruelty here.
TD, I'm gonna start a new rumor. TD hates cats. That's what TD just said. TD hates cats.
So,
What kind of person are you, TD, that you hate cats?
And there you go, Barry. That's a way better
It's
argument.
through your soul, bro. You look into their
that
eyes, it's
argument.
through
Maybe
your
he
soul.
dislikes
Hey.
number one. That's
Next
a
time-
better argument.
You guys,
Next time Tua misses a
You guys keep
practice,
putting
I'm gonna
up-
blame TD for dropping him off.
oh my
kidnapping
goodness,
him.
Calling Peter.
you guys keep putting up with this narrative about Flores' son wearing a Tua jersey. Let me ask everybody this: who has a kid here in this room besides Stevie D? I know you do. Von Joe,
Hey,
you
man, I got
have
three
you
of
have a
them
son,
things.
right?
I got three of them.
You have three of them.
Von Joe's got three
Let me ask you a question: Are you gonna tell your kid what to wear and what not to wear?
Look,
If you tell-
100%.
listen,
My
listen.
kids,
One of my kids
my
got a Tua jersey.
kids
To your
know.
point,
Hey,
Alexander, are you going to hide your feelings about a player on your team?
hey, look here's some real stuff, Alexander.
Until
My
they're
ba-
18, I will.
My baby girl.
So they
That's
older.
fair. My baby girl.
Besides,
Just-
I meant a jersey. You're gonna tell your
Look
kid
at Roach.
what
Roach
jersey
brought
to
in
wear.
his cat.
No.
Look
I'm
at Roach.
saying if I had a kid
Alexander.
and I was the coach of a
Alexander.
football team and I didn't believe in my quarterback, I would tell my son and be honest with him. I don't believe in this quarterback, and nor should you.
That's Tua.
Oh, look
Alexander,
at Tua.
it is my job.
Yeah.
Tua.
Hey, man, trade the
He's
cat,
mean.
man. Just trade the
He
cat.
looks mean.
Trade the cat.
Oh, he's great. He's a fat cat. There's nothing better than fat cats,
He
man.
looks mean. I
If
love it.
he's mean,
Alexander,
that's
I'm gonna
ironic.
answer your question.
That's pretty ironic for your cat to be
Alexander.
mean.
Alexander, can
What's
you hear
that?
Go ahead.
Oh,
I
he
hear you. Go
named him
ahead.
Tua. You named the cat Tua?
me?
I named him Tua.
Hold on. As a father, right?
Try to change it to tuna.
Hold on, guys. As a father, I have to be a responsible father and guide my two sons and my daughter to make responsible decisions. So, yes, I will tell them, no, you're not getting that jersey. And let me tell you why. You have to make better choices. All right? So every time I tell my kids no, I tell them why and why they should make better choices.
Von Joe, let's get something straight. My daughter, I'll tell you what I did. When Tua came into the game against the Jets 2 years ago, I told my kids to stop what they were doing, playing in their rooms, to come here because we were looking at the guy that was going to take us to the next Super Bowl. I was like, this guy's the savior of our franchise. He's going to do it. He's going to take us there. And my daughter has a Tua jersey. And I say, I say, who's your favorite player? She goes, Tua Tagovailoa. So my daughter, who's 6, but that's my fault. As a father, I made that mistake. I have to live with that mistake. Because now what's going to happen when he gets traded or she's going to cry. She's going to be sad. So I'm just saying, I'm not a good father.
I'm only saying all of this because it goes against the narrative that Flores was just this 100% evil guy and hated Tua. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that he shouldn't have bought his kid a Tua jersey. I'm saying it points to a certain amount of respect to Tua. That nobody's.
Hey, but can we all agree that Flores sabotaged himself? Can we all agree that Flores sabotaged himself?
No.
That he got himself fired?
Say that. No way.
How?
How would he get
on an island on that one?
Flores was
Hold on, he got
sabotaged the
himself fired
moment the
for
owner came
having
to him
morals?
and asked him to go against his morals. That's the second Flores.
Oh, by the
was
way,
sabotaged.
I wanted to touch on that a little
You're right,
bit here.
TD. 100%.
Here's the thing. As a season ticket holder for 2019, okay. I wanted to touch on that a little bit because I got a message from my rep yesterday, right? I asked my rep, with the lawsuit that's going on, is there a possibility that the fans can get compensated for their season tickets for that year
And
if
he
it's
laughed
true?
at you. He laughed at you, probably.
And you know what my rep sent? My rep sent me the same response that Stephen Ross sent the entire NFL world, saying that he will defend his honor and name. I'm like, bro, you got to be kidding me, man. You really going to send that to me after I gave you $5,000, $6,000 for that season?
Now you're gonna pay $7,000.
And I'm pissed. I hope that Steve Ross, the NFL forces Ross to sell the team. I've been on this panel with you guys so many times, and I've repeatedly said I have defended. How many times have I defended Stephen Ross on this panel? A lot, because I think that he's trying to win, and I think he's doing everything he can to try to win. But to go that far to kill the integrity of the game, I have a problem with that. I have a huge problem with that.
Yeah, me too.
And as somebody that used to play football, as someone that used to play football, I put my blood, sweat, and guts on the line out there on that field. And for this player's sake, I hope that we never see him again if the findings end up being true. But we all know at the end of the day that the owners are going to protect the other owners, and they're going to find some way to keep them in there if it goes down to it.
Yeah, I keep saying these owners are going to protect other owners. At the end of the day, these owners are going to protect their business investment themselves as well. So they're not going to let the whole ship go down like the Titanic because Stephen Ross is the iceberg. This time they will avoid the iceberg. The NFL will avoid that iceberg and say, "Hey, Ross, you're on your own."
And how many individual lawsuits
I'm telling
are
you,
going to
man.
start? If evidence comes out, how many individual lawsuits are going to start for people that made bets based on information that was completely false?
So I don't think there's too much. I don't think that's going to be too much of it.
It goes beyond the NFL.
I don't think that might be
integrity.
too much of an issue down the line. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. I think it's more of the what you call it. I lost what I was going to say. But I don't think it's going to be the bets or anything like
what
that.
I'm saying is, if the NFL can go to the table having already solved the problem and gotten rid of the problem, then those lawsuits will not even happen because they know they'll be lost causes. But if it continues this protection racket that's going on, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to individually sue on their own behalf. And they may sue the bookie. They may sue Vegas and not even the Dolphins.
Yeah,
and I think that's where
I'll believe that when I see it.
And that's where I say
You can sue a ham sandwich.
It's because betting and gambling is so tied, and the NFL and Vegas is making so much money off it that they will sit there. They're not going to lose that money because of Raw. So if the evidence is that condemning and it's really that sticky, okay, they're going to sit there because the thing is, I made in the comments earlier that, hey, this is posted on NFL.com, something that's ran by the NFL.
Right, that Rappaport report was a flag up the flagpole to see how the non-Miami Dolphins world in the NFL feels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that
was the Outkick article.
Steven,
the Outkick article I sent you guys last week.
Yeah.
Steven,
And Mike Florio just released one yesterday.
What'd you say, Vonjo?
I said earlier, you said this thing has legs. I really feel like the legs grew when I saw it got posted on NFL.com.
When Ian Rappaport's thing came out, I'm telling you, that's what I saw. I was like, this is a totally different thing now. And what was funny is the same thing that I was saying days before on the show and got killed for subsequently on it. I now all of a sudden, it sounds culpable, sounds right. Ross will not be the owner of this team by 2024, and he will either be forced to sell the team or he will sell it on his own account. I promise you that's going to happen in the next 2 years.
Buy the team, Tom Brady.
And if he's forced to sell the team, I think they should take away the succession plan and put it up for grabs for an owner and not give it the deal.
For Tom Brady.
Peyton Manning's looking to buy a team.
Tom Brady buy the team.
You can look at the bright side of that, Stephen D, is that maybe McDaniel won't be afraid to shoot his pals, knowing that what's going on and knowing this is his only shot.
All right. Looks, Miami Sports Miami Sports Music Podcast Network, #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. We had a great time this morning. I want to thank everybody that was on the panel this morning. I'm not even going to do final thoughts of the day, guys. I'm just going to kick y'all off and let y'all know I've had fun hanging out with y'all. And let y'all know, hey, tomorrow morning will be Wednesday. We'll be hanging out on Wednesday. It'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys come out tomorrow. Also,
I'm off tomorrow, guys.
Donate to the channel. You're off every day, Alexander. When do you work? Really? Make sure you guys donate to the channel. Help the channels grow. And, let's go. Let's do it. Guys,
All
you
right,
guys
you
want
guys
to say
take care.
anything? Tell people to donate and hit the like button.
Go ahead, Vonjo.
Everybody
I
tell
was gonna say,
everybody.
donate, hit the like button. But Steven, I want to
Donate,
commend
hit
you
that
for
like
something.
button. If you
Hold on,
don't,
I
if
want
you
to
do
commend
not
you on
donate, hit that
something
like
that
button. I'm gonna come for you. We're gonna shoot the one.
Go ahead, Vonjo.
Ain't nobody scared of you. I was gonna say, Steven, I want to commend you on something that is not mentioned enough, right? I want to commend you on you and your advocacy for mental health, right? Because a lot of people are going through things in this world. A lot of people are going through their battles, and
Amen.
like you say, hey, give somebody a call. And guys, if you guys are going through these battles, listen, one soldier doesn't fight a whole entire war. It takes an army.
It takes an
So
army.
reach out to a friend, reach out to a family, because again, life has its up and downs, and it could be the smallest thing to trigger you, and you might think you're completely okay. So again,
Agreed,
Steven,
Vonjo.
I commend
Well,
you. I commend you on your
Thanks, bro.
advocacy for being positive and still the mental health that and being a positive notion for mental health. That's all I gotta say. Hey man, fins up, and Steven, keep doing what you do, man.
Hey, who owes to the swear jar this
that's
morning? Who owes to the
that's
swear
deep,
jar this
Vonjo,
morning?
and
Thank you,
that's a good
Vonjo.
take, bro.
Facts, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
That's 100%
Roach,
facts, man.
all right, Alexander owes, Roach owes.
Wait, what is the rules on the swear? Is it what's not allowed on network TV?
I don't owe no swear jar. What are you talking about?
You did. You owe you owe $1 for every cuss word. If you say the F word, it's $2.
I didn't say the F word.
So is it
When did I
network
say the F
television
word?
rules or
No, it's
PG-13?
We're trying to keep it family friendly on the morning show. On the
got
late night shows, but have at it. And it also raises money for the channel. Helps the
Steve,
channel
I
grow.
respect you show too much not to. I respect you show too much, man. I don't ever curse.
TD says Roach owes for naming his cat Tua.
Oh man,
I love it. I love it.
Hey, I'm
I love
live tonight, 7:00. You guys want to see that?
Go check him out. Go check him
Every
out.
day, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m.
Roach, put it. I have it here in the private chat. Let me. Put it out one more
my
time.
subscribers went up to 20 now.
Right, I'm gonna go get the food.
You're welcome.
It's hard.
You're welcome,
Steven, thank you. It's hard having a live show where you want to debate people about aliens and stuff, and nobody's watching.
Aliens.
So,
guys, go check. Roach got a channel. TD, I just put it in the link, bro.
yeah, TD.
I just put it in the
They
link.
got
Go
abducted.
check them out. Hey, Jolie, put your link for your channel in too. Jolie, take yourself off mute, Jolie. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you, Steven.
Go check
I
out
gotta get on
Roach's
Jolie.
channel and Jolie's channel.
Okay, check out Roach and Jolie's. Nice.
Yeah,
that's one thing I gotta. That's another thing I gotta add.
And I guess go check out Color too. Gosh,
why not?
Yeah, color.
That being
Already
said, I
have.
do want to thank everybody who has graced my channel. I really do appreciate it. You guys are the rock bottom, ground floor supporters, so I do appreciate that, and I appreciate Stephen D for the platform he gives us all too.
We talk about everything but politics. No politics.
Y'all can thank me by hitting that like button and donating to the channel and helping the channel grow. That's how y'all thank me.
So guys, this is what we're promoting now. This is what we're promoting now. If you have a Galaxy, you get a free Galaxy S22. We're trading.
Hey Steve, if somebody put a good thing in the chat, I could give you that cat for the swear jar.
No, I don't want a cat.
You don't want Tua?
No, I'm good.
Right.
I'm good, bro. Krista Laka says you all have to pay $20 to plug your channel.
Hey,
I don't make the rules. Krista Lacus does.
Hey, listen, I'm always telling people to come to our MSM Clock Blockers, home of the flip floppers, because this is where it's
floppers, baby.
Every morning. So
although I wasn't here yesterday. I apologize, guys. I was
waiting.
I was going through some mental stuff. I was actually having a rough day yesterday, but I'm here. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for the week. I'm ready to take on the world now. All right, y'all get out of here. Go have fun. Miss Fins, put in your link.
Steven, have a good day.
Yeah, so really quickly, I do have my new channel. It is Miss Fins, aka Jolie. So right now, it's awesome. I have about 5 videos now. Got 100 subscribers thanks to TD and all you guys. You guys have always been awesome supporting me. Please like, subscribe. It's all about the Dolphins. Just my take, essentially. And every single Wednesday, I will be on TD Fins Talks this entire offseason from 7:30 to 8, just doing live shows, talking to you guys right there live. So just come out, support. Every like, every comment, everything. I want to see your comments because you guys' comments are hilarious, and I love listening to what you guys have and reading what you guys have to share. So like, subscribe. I put the link of my channel into the chat. So please go ahead and like, subscribe. I really do appreciate you guys, and thank you, TD, for having me, and thank you, Steven, because you were the first one to allow me to talk about the Dolphins, and that added to my love of this sport and my love of this team for sure.
I give everybody a platform, and I want to see a million more channels started, and I want to see people do this, and y'all know I want to do this for a living. So y'all are the best. So keep doing what y'all doing. Get out of here, y'all. Go. Be gone. You're dismissed, everybody. You're gone. Be gone. And just like that, everybody's gone. All right, guys. I hope you all had a good show today. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Please follow me at Stephen D. SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Go follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. I'm trying to get my Twitter games up. Messing with them Dolphin fans. I need y'all's help. That's what I'm saying. Show over 3.5 hours today, guys. I'm putting in work for y'all. I'm putting in work. I'm just saying, you know what? Here's what it is. Some people don't like asking for donations. I have no problem because I'm trying to create content for you. I'm trying to be here every morning and give you all stuff in the chat. The donation to the PayPal and Cash App link. Donate to the channel. Donate to the channel. TD Fins Talk. Go check out TD. I think TD's going to get on here soon. That's what that just sounded like. That's what that sounded like. TD Fins Talk. Subscribe to this man. Yes. What Color said. Subscribe. Subscribe. Look, everybody's saying subscribe to other people. Subscribe to Color Commentary. I like it. Crystal says, I'm making a channel about blackjack and hookers. Bro, you're going to get kicked off. You're going to get kicked off. You're going to get kicked off. But I do like, where your head was at there. You're trying. Come up with something else, Crystalakis. Come up with something else. Hey, I hope you all had a good time today. Miami Sports Music Podcast. Hey, tonight. I forgot to tell y'all. See, y'all totally made me forget tonight. Miami Sports Music Power Hour and Hellfins. Make sure y'all check out the Power Hour, 8 p.m. Solo D. Who else? Jamie Bahamas, Cameron. We're going to hang out. We're going to talk. 8 o'clock tonight. Hellfins tonight. A little Espanol. Make sure you guys go check out 2 amazing podcasts by amazing people. Shout out to Tailgreeter. I'm rocking their stuff today. And I hope you all have a good time. Y'all are the best fans in the world. I can't do this without y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm out of here. I'm going to go relax for a little bit, do my thing. And I will see y'all tomorrow on the #1 morning show, Clap Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Let's go.